welcome you live to the first short track race of the season, Richmond Raceway. Young drivers are winning at a record pace with fame, fortune, and future all on the line in the 7th race of the year in our pre-race show brought to you by Coca-Cola. Thanks for joining us on race day. With Clint Boyer, I'm Chris Myers on the scene to count you down to the start of the race. A little bit of a brief show before we get you to the race. And 7-time champion crew chief Chad Knaus is with us. It's a pleasure to have you here. You know, we have Ryan Blaney on the pole, but he's yet to win a race this year. His third pole. He's led the most laps. Chase Elliott is the points leader. He's yet to win. We know about first-time winners, 6 different winners, but we also have had a crazy start in the 7th race of the season. In one word, if you had to describe it, what would the word be?
I'm going to say volatile, because I think that everything that we've had going on this year, a lot of additional cautions, a lot of weird strategies, a lot of penalties. You're going to see a lot of that this afternoon as well.
Volatile. That's a calculated word right there. I like it. It's just the way I like things, and I think it's chaotic. That's my word.
We asked him if he had a different word for thesaurus, and he said dinosaur. So I think Clint was a little bit confused. But by the way, we haven't had a Toyota win yet this year, but they've won 8 of the 12 races, at least Joe Gibbs Toyotas have, at this racetrack. History on their side. Do they turn it around today? They're the title sponsor of this race.
Without a doubt, the Gibbs boys are who I'm looking at this weekend. I think they must show up. This is the first of 5 short tracks, and I believe they can show up and get the job done. This is their home.
8 out of 12 and 5 of the last 7. And I think Denny Hamlin won all of the stages last year, but wasn't able to bring home the victory. I really think the Gibbs guys, you watch those guys, they're a long-run team, and they're going to be back today.
You know, across the board this season, we've averaged 10 cautions a race. That's way up over last year. We haven't had a lot of green flag pit stops. Pit stops have been of an ordeal anyway, an adventure for most crews.
Yes.
How will that figure, your crew chief, how will that figure in today's outcome?
You better have your boys on point tonight, because we do see a lot of green flag runs here. Possibility of pitting under green flag situations, raising the stress level for the guys, and potential for more problems on pit road today.
And right here, these single lug nuts, it's been every single week, week in and week out, mistakes that are made on pit road been in the determining factor in finishes of these races. Probably 4 of the 6, as a matter of fact. Our pole sitter, Blaney, takes me right back to Phoenix having trouble. Christopher Bell's had trouble. They've all been learning this single lug nut and the orchestration on pit road. Today, this is the match. This pit road is challenging for everybody. The one that makes the fewest mistakes, I think, is the one that's going to win.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace had the tire get loose. His crew chief and crew members punished for 4 races. They were suspended. We have also had an interesting number of red flags through some races. The next 4 races, starting with today, we go with short track races, right? We're going to go from here to Martinsville and then to Bristol. That special Easter evening Bristol broadcast on the dirt in prime time. But look, all 3 of these other short track races will fit into Talladega, the super speedway. So the next 4 races, we're 20 races away until the playoffs, 1/6 of the full season. And we will continue in just a moment with Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain, who was 8th generation
the watermelon farmer, has his first career win.
Hey, that's me. No. That's me. I bet you're wondering how I got here. For a few minutes there, I was the most famous seed in the world. It's been a whirlwind. You know, Ross tried to brush me off a few times, but I was able to hang on for dear life. And I'm kind of a big seed now. I even got an agent. He mostly reps vegetables, but he liked this juicy fruit. Hey, Greggy boy, what's happening? They're gonna book me on Race Hub.
Well, I don't think you've seen a watermelon seed interviewed, but his 8th generation of watermelon farmers from Florida, Ross Chastain, it helped him pursue his dream to be a driver and get the first victory of his career last week. Jamie McMurray talked to him about that.
Chip Ganassi Racing.
Looking back, I wonder, how did this happen? I was 0 for 120.
Major fraud scheme.
Doubt creeps in. What do I do? Those were some dark days.
We will be discussing
a lot of questions.
A second driver at a later date.
Not a lot of answers.
The last time I was here, it was like a funeral in here. It was Chip coming and you know, saying goodbye, and then the cell of of Justin buying this, but the vibe's much different today. Really good.
It changed quick. It really did. Yeah. Justin is different, and he's young, and this is his focus. Yeah, we're racing, and we're a race team, but this is a lot more than that.
4 tires.
Now that I'm here, I see it.
Chastain, will he answer?
I felt like my best opportunity was to buy in to Trackhouse, and it worked out. Initially, 1,000 people flashed through my mind across the finish line. Like Dad, people from back home, different truck, Xfinity owners, crew chiefs, crazy how many people flashed in my head.
What was that last lap like, and what is this?
And that seed
like?
got stuck in the corner of your mouth. I was like, oh, I wish Regan would move that.
Come on.
I know.
How's that watermelon tasting right now?
So I think it was your mom that you're like having this moment with, like giving a hug. You've worked your whole life, and she's been on that journey with you.
When I saw my mom, I'm tearing up right now, man.
Yeah.
This just started as a hobby. As a 12-year-old, she was nervous, but she never backed down. To have her there and for her to come out on the track, it just all hit me like it, it just hits you. In that split second, it's worth it.
All right, so he's a smashing success, a little bit of a Kevin Harvick mentality, so we hear. But is he a championship contender? Is it too early to talk about that?
Well, man, he's been on fire, but I'm going to tell you, I hate to knock it, not quite yet. I'm not going to put him in that category yet. I think there's champions in this sport that have been on this racetrack. We're still waiting to see if they can show up, but I'm telling you, that Cat Nat 1 car has been fast every single week.
He, Phil Surgeon, and everybody at Trackhouse Racing has been fast all year long. And man, we're only a few weeks away from getting to that pivot point at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I tell you, if you're in the top 10 at Charlotte in points, you're going to be at the top 10 come playoffs. And if you're in the playoffs, you got an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, he had 3 straight top 3 finishes before the win last week. So 3 first-time winners. It's been over 10 years since we've had more than that. So who's the next first-time winner? We posted odds on Fox Bet with that. You guys tell me who would get your
That's my guy. That's my guy right on top right there. Tyler Reddick. He's the guy that's going to bring it home for the first time of winning this year.
Man, I like it. How about the Trackhouse boys? They're fast. We've seen Daniel Suarez was leading laps last weekend. I'm going to go with Daniel Suarez and Trackhouse race.
All right, and guys, the headline drivers who have yet to win this season, we talked about Ryan Blaney. Who's the next one to break through, including you got a couple of Chase Elliott there, you got Logano, some former champs.
I'm going to go. I mean, we got to look at the performance here at Richmond and start with what's directly in front of you, and that's the 19 car here behind us. And I think Martin Truex Jr. is the guy that's going to get it.
Well, he might be directly in front of me, but I'm going with that 4 car right there. Kevin Harvick, plus 1,400. I'm telling you, he was fast yesterday, and I think he's going to get a job done today.
All right, we'll continue live here from Richmond. Want to remind you the USFL is almost here. Players fired up 13 days away from the start of this innovative new league. The inaugural season will kick off April 16th, a battle between the New Jersey Generals and Birmingham Stallions, airing on both Fox and NBC. Coming up, a quick live chat with Martin Truex Jr., and we're going to hear, look at the great crowd, great weather here, talk about great driver-crew chief tandems.
We're at Richmond, and Reflex not far, cause you know we are racing anyway. You can rely on the past wins, honey. Bush can rely on his 6 wins, honey. Or the Hackman, cause he won last year, and the competition hated anyway. Or Danny, cause he ain't had a good start, But we don't know what this race has in store for the 22 first short track in the next year. Will Trackhouse still look really strong? Well, let's hope that they're strong, cause we're at Richmond. And we flags not far, cause you know we are racing anyway. Richmond. You can rely on the past wins, honey. Harp can rely on his 3 wins, honey. Even Clint, man, yeah, boy, you won here, but he's up in the booth today. In Richmond. He's old and young guns have had a good start,
All right, we're live from Richmond. A little parody of Hall and Oates. By the way, good shot of you there. When you think of great duos, what comes to mind?
Well, I mean, in Clint's case, Siegfried and Roy. I mean, let's go down that path.
Oh,
Sonny and Cher?
Oh, racing. Okay, let's.
I would think more like you, Chad.
Okay,
you
okay.
and
Let's
the
talk
dynasty that made
driver.
you.
Well, you
Matt Kenseth, Robbie Reiser, right? Zippy and Tony, right? Let's talk about those guys.
Kevin Harvick,
Kevin
Rodney
Harvick,
Childers.
yep, Rodney Childers. But we talk now.
What about today? Yes.
Cliff Daniels.
Okay,
right.
with Kyle Larson.
I mean, there's a good one. Phil Surgeon and Ross Chastain. They're coming up.
So how about you? Today's crew chief driver combo duo?
Man, I think that Cliff Daniels and Kyle Larson, they've set the bar, right? They are the new Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson until somebody knocks them off of it. But I'm telling you, the volatility of this sport and within this car, it's all over the place. It's really hard to tell you exactly who can build that dynasty like you and Jimmy.
You and Jimmy, you talking about 5 straight championships. Let's welcome in the driver of the 19. We're right in front of his car. Now, always good to see Martin Truex Jr.
How's it going?
Good. I know it was a slow start to short tracks, but you've got 6 career victories. You figured things out. Where are you this year in terms of just getting to where you want to be, especially at a place where you've had some success?
Well, definitely hasn't been the season we wanted so far. Guys are working hard, and I think the biggest thing about this year has really been just forget everything you knew before. Forget all the things. Forget about all the things that you used to think about when you went to these racetracks. That's gotten us in trouble a few times. Thinking, we're going to go with what we know, and it's like, no, you got to go with what this car wants. So a whole new mindset this weekend, and it's the best car we've had in practice, best car we've qualified with. Auto Owners Camry's feeling pretty sporty, so hopefully we can get it done today.
That's shots fired. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Talk to your teammate earlier, Denny, and he just didn't have that confidence, man. We were wanting to know who's our horse today, and we all have our eyes on you, the baddest man at this racetrack by far, especially as of late.
I watched practice down in turns 1 and 2. From lap 1, I was like, that 19 curves on it right there. So whether it's you, whether it's a race car, the way you get around this track, you've got a knack. You're going to be one to watch today.
Well, I enjoy coming here. It's a lot of fun. It's a big challenge. Today's going to be a huge challenge with these tires falling off. You try to get that forward drive. These cars get really, really loose when the tires wear out. So if we can keep a handle on that today, we're going to have a good day.
I think it's a compliment to Joe Gibbs and Toyotas when we start saying, hey, we're only 6 races in. Hey, they aren't winning yet, but we got a long way to go, so you guys aren't panicking. We've heard that word.
Yeah, we're not panicking. We have high expectations. Coach sets the way there. We need to win. We need to run good. We need to win races. And if we're not winning, we're not good enough, and we're working hard. So we got a lot of smart people, a lot of resources, a lot of great people behind us. We're working really, really hard right now.
And been waiting on a good short track. This is the first of 5. Yep. This is right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, it's typically been good for us. So like I said, it's a new year, new car, a lot different, but feeling good about what we have here today.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by. Have a good race.
Absolutely.
Always good seeing
Thanks for coming, Martin. Have a great race,
driver of the 19. Let's check out our Coca-Cola family of drivers. Joey Logano, he's won twice here. We talked to Denny Hamlin on the earlier FS1 race day show. You see Suarez starting 14th. And Joey Logano, totally focused on racing. Sometimes forgets about some other things if you saw him in the booth on Saturday.
Last week, everyone gave me a hard time for not knowing the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek. I feel like Blaney should be involved in this. He's the Star Wars guy, right? Is this Star Wars? Star Trek? It's completely different. I've never watched either one, but I do know something about this track. It ain't over till it's over, baby! Woo! You nerds. Sorry, Blaney. While everyone else is worried about coin tosses and innings.
Rumor has it you're doing the coin toss for that game.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to play a couple innings, too. Why not?
Innings,
whatever it is. I'm just worried about 400 laps and raising trophies. And it's about time to do that. So live long and prosper, dorks.
All right, Joey has his mind set on winning a race. Well, he was terrific last year. The Bristol race on the dirt, which again will be on Easter evening. All right, time now before we send you guys up to the booth for a little.
It's time. Put it out, baby. We've had some good ones coming in. This one right down the road at South Boston, Chad. Check it out. My man is mad. We had a Tony Stewart moment. Remember this at Bristol? Well, we had it at South Boston. Come on, boy. Come on. Good throw right through the window of that thing. We all know the words. Put it out.
Then, as we bring it back, we start talking about Richmond. Everybody thinks the big one only happens at Daytona and Talladega. Look at this. 2008 starts on the back straightaway, carries all the way through into the middle of turns 3 and 4. I think we got one from every organization in that crash right there.
When they were running this race right under the lights, wow. Everybody got to be okay. It still looks like it's
Hang
still
on,
going
I'm almost there. I'm coming.
I was actually in
All
that.
right, how about this? This was yesterday in the Xfinity race. We talk about pit stops, how critical they are, and how pit crews have to be on top of it. This is Stefan Parson here. The jack stand stays, and he goes an entire lap.
That's a jack, Chris.
Yes.
That's how the jack
Yeah. You know, I did that when I changed the tire on my car, but
exactly
they quickly got me off on the highway. Here is Michael Waltrip with the Grid Walk. Michael.
Hey, Chris, the Grid Walk's going to go about this far. Chase Elliott, Chase Young, couple of winners. Welcome to NASCAR. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
You learning a lot about this stuff?
A lot, the pit stops, what they have to do, certain little things on the cars and make it go faster. How hot it is in there, I know how hot it was at all.
You feel like winning today, Chase?
That'd be great. He reminds me more and more why I don't play football every time we talk. But it's been a pleasure to have him part of our A-Shock team and ready to get this deal going.
Right on. Well, we're going to go to ceremonies, trackside ceremonies. Go blue. That's wrong, right? That's just wrong. Takeaways, trackside ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise as you are able and remove your hats as the Luke Air Force Base Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome from St. Matthew and St. Paul's Lutheran Church, Reverend Wally Shiflett.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we give you thanks for your awesome creation, the pinnacle of which is every human life, wonderfully made and paid for at the cross. Lord, give all here today at Richmond Raceway, the drivers, the crews, the officials, and the spectators, a safe and enjoyable race. Please bring healing and peace to those suffering the ravages of war in their Ukraine. Give protection to our own nation's military forces and to first responders serving in our communities. We ask this in the name at which every knee shall bow and every tongue confess, the name of Jesus. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome from the U.S. Army Training and Doctrine Band, Specialist Maya Rodriguez.
See by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Moments away from the start of the race in Virginia, you're watching Race Day live, presented by Coca-Cola.
We'll talk about the ultimate giveaway. Kurt Busch is giving away 500 tickets to active military and, of course, veterans.
Years ago, visiting Walter Reed, Bethesda Medical Centers, I was really blown away by men and women who have come back from service and their lives have changed forever, and they're working through rehab just to get established and to reintegrate back into civilian life. A lot of that hit me hard.
I was at one of those visits with you, and I remember seeing those men and women looking at you like they love racing. Racing is an escape for them. But when did it first hit you that you were like, I want to be part of this and give back?
it was actually there at that event. All right, you're just here to get your photo taken. I said, you know what, take my phone number. I said, when you get out of here, when you get better, we're going go-kart racing. We're going to go race against each other. We're going to have fun. You're going to come to a NASCAR race. And so I just developed friendships from these different men and women.
That is so cool. Kurt Busch giving away your personal phone number just to help these men and women out. But this weekend at Richmond, 500 of them.
It's just fun to have that group of people rooting for me, but at the same time, just happy that they're at the track, thinking about other things, and just reintegrating again and having fun like they would beforehand.
All right, thank you. We salute the vets. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear for those that push the limits of possibility. Goodyear, more driven. And don't forget, if you want a free chance at Clint's money, scan the QR code, download the Fox Bet Super 6 app, a chance to win $10,000. Michael, come over from the Grid Walk, has joined me on the grid. And, Michael, let me ask you, we've heard a lot about the challenges. Where does this race rank on the difficulty scale for the drivers?
It's a 10 out of 10, Chris, mostly because there's hot sun baking down on it. It's going to be really slippery, but you have to be super aggressive on NASCAR these days. We saw that last week, but you also need to use finesse.
And he thinks we might see another first-time winner. Now for the famous words we want to hear.
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome Assistant Principal at Fox Elementary and proud owner of a 2014 Toyota Avalon, LaTanya Oliver. And art teacher at Fox Elementary and proud owner of a 2015 Toyota Prius, Julie Crowder.
Drivers, start your engines!
Oh, yeah, well done. Will we see our 7th different winner to start this season in the 7th race of the NASCAR season? Stay tuned.
Richmond is a short track like no other.
Green. Go get him.
That was a Mario Kart gift.
And now we get ready to rumble in Richmond. 70 years of racing here in Richmond, from the dirt track to the half mile to the 3/4 mile oval we know today. Fox welcomes you to the Toyota Owners 400 at Richmond Raceway. Active wins leaders versus this year's winners. Look at the numbers that these drivers have put up, but no wins this season. Big fat 0. Look at this year's winners and how few career victories they have. The whole season with this brand new Gen 7 car has been topsy-turvy in the win department, and we've shaken up our Fox booth this week. We welcome Hendrick Motorsports Vice President of Competition, Chad Knaus, for a rather different perspective, and Clint Boyer. Don't know how you guys made it up here so fast. Must have had a helicopter from that pre-race. But as a driver, Clint, you won here twice. What is it about this place? What's top of drivers' mind today?
Tires. I've talked to every one of them, including Kevin Harvick right down there. Before we came up, he was standing right there. I said, what do we have to work on? Managing these runs, probably going to see a long run or two, and everybody's worried about their fall off, slipping and sliding, being easy on that gas pedal, not spinning the tires too much.
Chad, when Fox called, asked you to do a couple of races, you picked this one first. Why?
Specifically, I wanted this racetrack because this is such a unique track. Tire fall off, like Clint had mentioned a moment ago. Your tire sets, you've only got about 7 sitting on pit road. You really got to be creative about how you begin to call this race as you move forward. You got to make sure you got some good tires at the end, and this is going to be a fun race tonight.
All right, well, let's bring in our crew chief, Larry McReynolds, talk a little about race strategy today.
Well, Mike, like a football coach, I've been working on my strategy all week long, but I have to keep adjusting that strategy. And the biggest factor that I've looked at is normally Richmond does not have a lot of cautions, but the trends of 2022, average number of cautions per race, 10. The last thing you want to do is make a green flag stop and get burnt by a caution, because that, Mike, will take your good day and make it go bad.
In a heartbeat. All right, field is on the pace laps. Who's got the dial-a-tone today?
I'm going to that 4 car, man. I told you, I talked to him. I want you guys to hear it from the horse's mouth. Hey, Kevin Harvick's Boyer up in the Fox Sports booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. You told me tires, saving, and managing these long runs is the name of the game. How are you going to do that today?
Well, the first thing I did is I got a bottle of baby powder out and I put it on the bottom of my shoe because I feel like the bottom of my shoe is going to get wore out today trying to take care of those tires. But everybody on our Mobile One Ford Mustang has done a good job all weekend, and you know how this place is. No tires, no go.
Absolutely, man. Nobody manages it better than you. Your car was good yesterday. Want to wish you luck. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Kevin Harvick will roll off 7th. Here's your Toyota Owners 400 starting grid. Ryan Blaney won the pole yesterday, his 3rd of the season, and William Byron has his best Richmond start. Kyle Busch, 6-time Richmond winner, and Chase Briscoe ties his best start of the season. Eric Jones had his 2nd top 10 finish of the year last week. Martin Truex has won 3 of the last 5 here. There's Harv, a 3-time Richmond winner, and Ross Chastain, whose average finish in the month of March, 2nd. Christopher Bell, top 5s in both Richmond races last year, and Eric Almirola, top 10 in 2 of the last 3 here. Joey Logano and Cole Custer in row 6. The field will scroll across the bottom of your screen as we get down to pit road, and Jamie Little.
Well, Mike, a year ago, Alex Bowman drove from deep in the field to win his first career short track race right here at Richmond. Well, he's gone on to win 4 times since then. Now, he qualified deep in the field once again, but he told me not to worry. Long run speed is their strength. And he also said driving this car at this racetrack is the most normal this brand new car has felt. Keep your eye on that 48, Regan Smith.
Well, Jamie, there's a couple tracks that Chase Briscoe has felt lost at over his Cup career. One of them being Richmond, the other being Phoenix. Phoenix a couple weeks ago, Chase managed to get a win, his first career win, in fact. Now we come to Richmond. The team brought the exact same race car. They feel very good about their chances of improving on his career best 16th place finish here at Richmond.
Thanks, Regan. Let's take a look at today's race analysis. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. 400 laps, 300 miles. And the stage length's a little different now. 70, 160, and 170 laps. Pit road speed, 40 miles an hour. And the fuel window, 125 to 135. Going to go green next time by, as the all-new 300-plus horsepower Toyota Camry TRD leads the field. 2 cars did not get to qualify, Justin Haley and Greg Biffle, both due to inspection issues, and they will do a pass-through after they take the green flag on the racetrack, pass through down pit road at pit road speed. And the number 2 to the rear, they made a brake change on Austin Cindric's car.
For a fast car again, guys. Let's stay on it here, 400 laps. Keep track position. Make it our day. Good luck. Thank you guys for all the hard work. Good luck on pit road.
As they come to green, we're going to listen to Tony Hirschman, spotter for Kyle Busch, firing off from 3rd position in that light blue Toyota. Ryan Blaney of Ford, William Byron in a Chevrolet will lead them to green at Richmond.
Outside 14, going off the drone. Still outside 14. Tight half. No quarter. Hanging to upper clear. He's in line, half.
Front 4 single file. Martin Truex to the outside of Eric Jones for 5th. Ryan Blaney, your leader, said he didn't expect to run a single lap today as hard as either of those qualifying laps yesterday.
And as of right now, if you're a crew chief on pit road, you're telling your driver, take care of your tires. Start saving your tires, because right now, we've had a full Xfinity race, a couple days of practice, that Xfinity rubber's on the racetrack. The drivers are going to start complaining here pretty quickly about that other rubber being on the track. So just take care of your stuff and let's get through this first stage.
Yeah, and that's why you see these guys trying to sort it out. And what I mean by that, get single file and get settled in as quick as possible so you can start that process of managing those rear tires.
2nd place, Kyle Busch. Looking to the inside on William Byron. Nothing there.
He's been running a little bit higher through 3 and 4, trying to get a run on the 24 car as he gets down into turn 1. Well, Williams saw that happen the last lap, and he figured he'd take that away from him.
And look at the gain. Massive gain off of turn 4, and watch, right to the back bumper. You're going to see everybody start figuring that out. Moving up. Low air pressure. Tires are pretty squirrely. As the pressures come up, your car's kind of light on its feet, sliding the front end out from underneath it, trying to get rotated, be a little bit squirrely under the throttle. Have to be careful with that. But then they start coming in, and then immediately, almost immediately, you start pacing yourself, just like we were talking about, and managing the run.
3-car breakaway, 3/4 of a second on Chase Briscoe in 4th, Martin Truex in 5th, and then Ross Chastain. Who would have thought the 6 races into the season, the 3 names we'd be saying most would be Briscoe, Chastain, and Suarez. What a start to this season.
It's been all over the place for sure. You never know what to expect. And you know, Chastain and their win, the Trackhouse Racing, his teammate Daniel Suarez, you know, leading all the laps that he did before they had trouble. I mean, it's just all over the place on trying to pinpoint who the lead guy is right now. I don't think there is one.
4th place. Martin Truex advances. Do you have him on your scorecard for today?
I do 100%. I watched that car in practice. I went down to turns 1 and 2, and I watched them roll through the center of that corner. 45 looks like he may have a problem going down the front straightaway. Looks like he's weaving back and forth. Might have a tire down.
Off completely, and then turn it back on.
So he's cycling the ECU right there is what they're saying. So down on power, got to cycle it.
Probably trying to see if he has any fuel in it. That's probably why he was wiggling it.
Kyle Busch looking outside.
Fuel. Chad, if you can't be out of fuel, Chad.
Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. Not at this point.
We're going to get a caution. I don't think he's going to make it around. Well, definitely.
And just cycle your switches, cycle the power.
Cycle the power back on the ECU. Does it refire? I don't think so.
Sitting right in the middle of the back straightaway.
Could be fuel pickup, could be electrical, but it will be the first caution of the day for Kurt Busch.
See, we all talked about setting this race up, the history of this race, how easy it is to manage and understand what's going to happen. Boom. 10 laps in, we have our first caution.
No fuel pressure, Kurt Busch says. Let's listen to what happened here.
Oh.
Shut off right here. Shut off.
So there he is. He's wiggling it back and forth, trying to see if that's just an old move if you feel like that your car wasn't getting the fuel in the pickup. Yeah, that thing should have been full of fuel. That's obviously probably a lift pump issue or an electrical issue or something along those lines. That's really unfortunate. I had high marks for those guys based off of what I saw in practice yesterday.
So he is getting pushed back to pit road by that the bumper of that big Ford Super Duty. NASCAR on Fox is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. 13 laps complete under caution for Kurt Busch, who stalled on the back straightaway. They brought him back behind pit wall. The computers are hooked up, trying to diagnose the mechanical problem with his fuel pressure. Now, surprisingly, a bunch of cars led by Kyle Larson came to pit road. Larry?
Yeah, with only 9 laps on the tires. Remember, these teams have 9 sets for the race. 8 laying in the pits, 1 on the car. One of them is a transfer set from qualifying, which we call scuffs. We know for a fact this is what the 5-car Kyle Larson put on, which is about 2-lap scuffs.
Thanks, Larry. Now, you still have a chance to win $10,000 of Clint's Cash by playing Fox Bet Super 6. Scan the QR code now, download the app, and enter your picks about today's race for a free shot at your share of the jackpot.
Get on there, folks. Free app. I'm telling you, get on your Fox Super 6 app. Put your picks in. I think this is a good race to win some of my cash. It really is. I think some of these questions might be a little bit easier. Might have some company in the win today.
Austin Cindric stopped along with Larson, Ty Dillon, Stenhouse, Ware, Haley, who got the free pass, and Biffle. Ryan Blaney is your leader. He has led every race this season, and he fires off ahead of William Byron. 3 wide with Eric Jones stuck in the middle.
Yeah, I saw Kevin shoot to the inside, got underneath of him, got him 3 wide. Actually, a little bit of contact off of 2.
A little more off of 4.
Ross Chastain battling for 3rd.
Got a good launch off turn 4, beat Kyle Busch into the corner. Now it's Busch's chance to return the favor.
Be interesting to see how much of a run he gets when he's committed and has to stay up on the top side compared to the 1 versus being able to take advantage of it.
There
he's got it. Drives right by him.
By the way, that on the back of Kyle's car, that's not wah-wah. That's a... It's a gas station convenience store chain.
Wawa.
Yeah.
Wawa.
Not wah-wah.
You got to get out more, Mike.
That is amazing.
It's a heck of a gas station, too. Got plenty of them M&Ms. I wish they'd bring us up some.
And this is what I saw about that 19 yesterday, right around the bottom. Left side tires right on the yellow line, saving his tires. And that may not come into play just right now. But, man, let's get to about lap 30, lap 35, and see if he's still down there or not.
You picked up on that right away yesterday, Chad, and was saying that. And I'm telling you, being able to do that early is one thing, but being able to do that throughout the length of these runs, very, very challenging, asking a lot out of the car.
Well, in the first 10 laps, Kyle Busch tried twice to get by William Byron without success. Now, looks like he's got 2nd place.
This outside, Kyle Busch has it figured out up off of 4. You see the run. We saw it earlier with Kyle Busch getting the run off of 4. Now he's getting it figured out in 1 and 2.
Clint, in your pavement short track career, did you ever set your car up for the outside when everybody else wanted to be on the bottom?
Nope. I was a catfish. I loved running the bottom of the racetrack, and honestly, I could just be more consistent with running that bottom, hunting that yellow line right on the bottom of the track, low and digging. But honestly, a lot of success I found at this racetrack, especially in a long run, was moving up, just like you see Kyle Busch doing, diamonding that corner. It's all about getting that drive, the straight drive up off of these corners.
Really interesting thing about Richmond that I've noticed over the years is when you race during the day, if you've got a lot of sunshine on the track, it lends itself to exactly what you're talking about, Clint. Guys searching, looking for fresh pavement, looking for clean pavement, because that's where you get the additional grip. I think you're spot on right here.
I just want to go somewhere on this racetrack where I don't have to constantly just pull on that wheel and scrub those front tires off. Look at this. William Byron making a pass on Kyle Busch.
Crossover move.
William did it on the bottom. Now Kyle goes to the inside.
You see William fighting a little bit of loose condition getting into 1. I think he's going to prevail when we get down here.
And this could be one of those tracks, Clint, where through 3 and 4 right now, with the way the rear suspension is, you get a good launch off of turn 4. But then when you get down to turns 1 and 2, maybe you want to get back down to the bottom.
But what happened right there, he got in position, just like you said, and that position made Kyle Busch have to pull on that wheel off of 4, gets loose, and you drive right by him.
Back at 15th place. Our first side-by-side battle on the racetrack, Brad Keselowski inside Daniel Suarez. Everybody's single file ahead of them.
Hear how hard he had to get out of the gas and wait for that thing with Daniel on his outside. Really letting the car roll around there. It's a process, and Chad, you alluded to it. It's a frustrating process. You start the pass, you get underneath the guy, and if he hangs on your door out there, it just kills your speed, your momentum, because you need that real estate to be able to move up and get the momentum.
And just like we saw right there, what that allowed the 8 car to do is run up on the back of those guys. But look at this battle for second with the 18 and the 24. Oh, yeah.
He's
getting way up towards the top.
But look at the run. As he diamonds to straighten that corner up, all about keeping that car straight under the throttle.
Jamie, at lap 8, Kurt Busch went behind the wall. Have they made any progress?
Yeah, they've actually taken him to the garage, said that the engine had stumbled. It's a fuel pickup issue, and since it's mechanical, they can take all the time they want to try and fix this to get him back out. Obviously, his chances of winning the race are over, but he's trying to keep that 0 DNFs intact, so they'll continue working, Mike.
Yeah, so with that fuel pickup issue, that's really an interesting thing. So we've got 2 small lift pumps in the fuel cell, and then we've got a main lift pump. So right there, the way this thing sounds is it sounds to me like it's a main lift pump because that's what feeds the engine. So they could have a real problem here. That's not something that can be easily changed. You have to take the whole fuel cell top off. Not a lot of those parts actually floating around, so they're probably going to have to go get one off a backup car, try to stick it there and see if they can get them to gain some pressure. They're going to be multiple lap sounds. Really unfortunate for that 45 team because they were actually looking really good in practice.
6th place race here. Christopher Bell in the 20 trying to make the pass stick on Chase Briscoe, but they're double wide for 2 rows back along with Jones and Logano. And Kevin Harvick has caught that group, make it a 5-some.
I think when you're battling it out like this, you see Eric Jones get loose on the bottom. That's that real estate you're talking about, having to pull on the wheel to stay off the car on the outside of you. You get loose. But in these battles, throw a blanket over them as tight as they are. I look for these guys with the opportunity of a 5th gear to start shifting. And I think that's exactly where you would optimize that, is trying to make a pass, get your car rotated, and beat them off the corner.
And one thing we don't have this week is a competition caution. So we're going to run the whole 70 laps of stage 1 without a scheduled break. 32 laps complete. Ryan Blaney has led the ball in his Penske Mustang. NASCAR on Fox is sponsored by Ford. Built for America. By Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. And by Verizon Frontline, built for 5G. Built to make a real difference on the front lines. 39 laps complete. Ryan Blaney's led them all. Michael McDonald just made a stop for 4 tires. Here are today's Ford track facts at Richmond. 33 Cup wins. They've been racing here since 1953. Paul Goldsmith got the first for the Blue Oval in 1957. And here's Brad Keselowski, who went to victory lane here in 2020. Chase Briscoe and Chase Elliott had a bit of door-to-door right here.
I'd say Briscoe came down a little bit, but it kind of takes me back to maybe what happened before that. I don't know if he didn't like something that the 9 did, but it didn't really look like he got loose either and came down to him. I think that was maybe some payback, if I had to guess.
That was the second hit in the fight, not the first hit. No.
There's Martin Truex in the top 5. He's had a lot of success here, Regan.
Well, Mikey's had a ton of success at this racetrack, and so far today, that success continuing. Martin very happy with that race car right now. Just a little bit of brake shake early on for him. Crew Chief James Small told me a big part of that was they unloaded on Saturday's practice as good as they have all year long, because much of what they learned at Phoenix a few weeks ago is correlating to this car for him now finally.
So we've been green since about lap 14, so 30 laps of green flag racing. And we've been wondering, with that 5-speed sequential gearbox, will shifting come into play here?
The biggest cause for shifting here will just be the massive tire fall off that we always see at Richmond.
I do love how these cars shift. It makes it a lot more fun to go out there and try and change gears. When the tires slow down, you might be shifting.
Obviously, to be able to accelerate off the corner faster and passing cars and things like that, if you're kind of boxed in on the bottom.
Oh, maybe the pace falls off really fast and we have to shift. So it looks like, we may not have to shift with the tire fall off we have, but we'll just have to see.
That's how many different ways of saying maybe.
That's exactly what I was going to say. A big maybe, but that's the unknowns about taking this car to these racetracks that we do. But I think it goes back to where I commented first, when those guys were in that, dogfight, if you will, where you could throw a blanket over them and you're moving, you're trying to make a move and get yourself in position. That may be how you do that with a downshift.
46 laps complete. Let's check with Jamie.
And Kevin Harvick has slipped a couple of spots back to 9th, but his spotter, Tim Fedowa, up on the spotter stand having some issues.
Hear anything, but do you not hear me? We only hear you every now and then. RE's down here, they said there's definitely interference. I'm not sure. You tell me what you want to do. Nothing we can do right now.
And you heard him right there. They've got some interference on their channel, so what they'll do at the end of stage 1, they're just going to swap his frequencies to the second channel.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie. That's something you fight every week. Racing Electronics handles the radios for that team, and, until the caterers and everybody get their radios fired up when the race is ready to start, you have no idea if somebody's going to be on your channel.
You are 100% accurate in that. And you look, we've got a packed house here today. A lot of people, a lot of new people. Everybody's got a scanner. Everybody's got a radio. People are trying to talk to one another. It gets really difficult. As soon as we walk in here on race day morning, cell phones kind of struggle a little bit. Cell phones are hard to dial out, get messages, all of that. As you're checking the radios, you start to get that feedback. Not uncommon for a short track at all.
Kyle Larson moving up. He has gained 17 spots since the restart. The first of the cars that stopped for tires at lap 12.
See how good that car rotated and how straight he was, low and straight up off of 4. That's what it takes to have speed here and to be able to drive up through the field. It's one thing to have speed and kind of manage that, but to be able to have the maneuverability in your car where you can move around like he's doing right there, get an angle, and pass somebody, asking a whole nother challenge. He's pretty loose, though.
20 laps to go in stage 1. Ryan Blaney has led all 50 so far as we go Fox side by side.
Oh, hello. Lucky for me, there's some great golf here in the Carolinas. Whether you golf or not, Geico could help you score some great savings on car insurance. Maybe even hundreds of dollars. Whoa. Oh, hole in one. And that's a par 5, mind you.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
For Toyota, racing isn't all about the numbers. Like 162 Cup wins.
Or 3 Cup Series championships.
How about those 3 Daytona 500s?
It's about the thousands of bumps and bruises.
It's the millions of fans and the endless rain of confetti.
I love you guys!
It's the countless I love yous.
Our success is in a generation of memories. Here's to the next.
For 75 years, Martinsville Speedway has been the short track in NASCAR. And it's also the place to see 3 nights of bumper-to-bumper, 3-wide racing at one of NASCAR's oldest tracks. With trucks kicking off things on Thursday night, Xfinity on Friday night, and the Cup Series on Saturday night.
We're underway.
It's the reason to get your tickets now at MartinsvilleSpeedway.com. Martinsville Speedway, April 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at MartinsvilleSpeedway.com.
For March Madness, the Dave single is just $1 in the Wendy's app. Reg!
Lunchtime, baby.
Lunchtime indeed, Rich.
Get a hot and juicy Dave single for just $1 in the app. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Saturday, it's time for baseball on FS1. It's time for an age-old rivalry to write another chapter. It's time for the Red Sox and Yankees. Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on FS1. There's a reputation on the track, one that screams, bring it, loud enough so the whole world will see it coming. I am the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I am NASCAR.
14 laps to go in stage 1. Ryan Blaney holding off William Byron by 1 full second. Kyle Busch 4 back. Ross Chastain 4.5 and Martin Truex 5.5. Now, as you saw, Ricky Stenhouse made the pass on Daniel Suarez, and then showed a little bit of displeasure here by taking his line away.
Almost.
And a little paint, maybe.
Like a slide job gone bad there. Didn't quite have him clear.
Now, earlier, Chase Briscoe, while battling Chase Elliott for a top 10 spot, had contact, and Regan, he's dropped, what, a dozen spots since?
Mike, he has been dropping since then. The unfortunate part for Chase right now is there is nothing wrong with that car from that contact. The issues he's having is it's just a very tight race car right now, meaning he can't get those front tires to turn through the middle of the corner at all.
And that doesn't get better. That just continues to get worse and worse, and it compounds as you go. The crew chief right now, he's thinking, man, let's just get it to the stage. That's all we got to do.
And that's a hard thing to fix. Then you start freeing the car up. Now you're loose in.
All right, Ross Chastain has taken third place from Kyle Busch. What's up with the 18?
About 8 to 10 laps after I said it was tight middle, the tight went away, and it's just been rear splitting ever since. I mean, I can still turn left in the middle sometimes. Like, if the back was tighter, the front would be tighter, but it's just rear splitting, rear drifting right now.
Seventh place right here. Joey Logano, Chase Elliott. With 10 to go in stage one, Larry will give us a look at today's Verizon race strategy.
Well, Mike, again, it's kind of a moving target, but remember, those two stages, stage two and the final stage, they are long stages. We've already almost completed stage one. We've not pitted in this stage, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to split those two stages in half. I'm going to pit somewhere there about lap 150, and then again somewhere around lap 155 on into that next stage. But again, I've been off the pit box for 20 years. I reserve the right to change my strategy if needed. That's your Verizon race strategy.
And Larry,
that's another maybe.
That is exactly why I wanted to come up here and work with this race with Larry Mack and everybody back in Charlotte and you guys up here, because there's so many opportunities here. So many things to consider as we get going here.
I'm telling you, the 6 car and the 4 both, these cars are fast. So they've figured out the long run. Both of them have good long run speed and are marching back up through the field. Great run for the 6 car of Keselowski.
And a nice turnaround for Brad, who's only had 109 top 10 laps run since Daytona. And neither of those drivers took tires. The first of the cars that did is Kyle Larson in 15th. 7 to go to the end of the stage. Can Blaney sweep the whole stage? I think he can.
Yeah, he's good. He looks really fast right now. He was good in practice, obviously qualified really well. And they only made that one run in practice. Went out there and just said, look, we're going to run this practice out, get a feel for our race cars, see what we've got. Did a really good job. Looks like they got it sorted out today.
He said this is his worst track. He's never led a lap here in Cup until today. It's just all part of this topsy-turvy season that we're having so far.
I don't know if he's topsy or tersy, but I'm telling you, that car and the new opportunity of learning this new car, nobody, in my opinion, has rise to the occasion better than Ryan Blaney.
Jamie.
Well, he used to be turvy, but today he's topsy leading these laps. Cars so far so good, and that's his crew chief there, Jonathan Hassler. He told me they ran that 45-lap run yesterday in practice, and Blaney got out of the car. His focus was managing those tires, and he said, I need to do a better job. I'm going to start at the drop of the green flag. He has been so aware of that tire conservation for this race.
And not only is he leading, Jamie, he is pulling away. He's got 1.3 seconds now on William Byron as Chase Elliott drops under Christopher Bell. This is for 6th.
And I'm watching a lot of these drivers out there, the guys that are consistently making fast lap time. They're running left side tires on that yellow line. So me as a crew chief, what I'm thinking about right now, I'm watching the data that I've got coming into the pit box. I'm trying to think, okay, how am I? Because my driver's frustrated. He's not probably going the direction he wants to. So I'm like, okay, buddy, here's what we need to do. We got to try to get the car set up to where you're able to run with your left side tires on that yellow line. That's what the fast guys are doing. Getting ready to come to the stage end right now. Pits are closed. This is when all of that conversation starts to happen.
So 70 laps coming up. That'll be the end of stage one. None of the drivers who stopped at lap 12 for tires are going to be in the top 10 and score points here. Truex underneath Kyle Busch, and that may change 4th place here.
I told you guys, start of the race, that's going to be one to watch right there. He is doing a really good job.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of guys that are wanting this stage to come to an end and make these adjustments, but man, some of them, I'm going to say that 19, Chad, you're exactly right. I like that. Christopher Bell's fast. Harvick, Keselowski in that 6. Those guys are really impressing me on these long runs.
Look at that 9 car all the way up there for a top 10 in stage 1.
Ryan Blaney now has 3 stage wins this season, most of all Cup drivers. The USFL is now only 13 days away. April 16th is the kickoff. Generals, Stallions, Primetime, Fox, and NBC. Only 10 seconds from now, pit stops. It'll be the first one of the day for the top 14 cars, led by Blaney, Byron, and Chastain.
Let's see if the Gibbs boys try one of these special stops they've been advertising on Twitter.
Well, let's find out. Regan.
Mike Ross Chastain, last week's winner. Good again this week. That race car just a little bit tight early on. Got better as he ran. Martin Truex Jr., the rear tires on that race car are gone, and he's got bad brake shake. And you see they are trying the new pit stop choreography that we've been hearing so much about. Jamie?
Kyle Busch as well on the 18. All 4 members run around the front of the race car. All hands on deck. They're even making a chassis adjustment on the 18. Getting 4 tires on here. First time live trying this new choreography. Meanwhile, the 24 chassis adjustment a little too free. And the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Overall great. He said the car had really good drive off.
Here's the Ram race off pit road, and Ryan Blaney squeaks it out ahead of Chastain. Chase Elliott and Christopher Bell each pick up 3 spots, while William Byron has some difficulty and drops 6.
Let's talk to the stage 1 winner. Hey, Ryan Blaney, it's Boyer up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, hey, gotcha.
Man, that hot rod's looking good. Looked like it was holding the bottom, doing everything you asked it to do, winning that first stage. How's it feel?
Yeah, it feels really good. We've been working really hard to try to get Richmond better for us, and you know, it's been a lot of fun so far. It's on the pole and lead that first stage and win the stage, and hopefully you know, make the right adjustments here and see what we can do. But I'm having a good time so far. Just gotta keep on top of the racetrack.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you.
William Byron's pit crew, Larry tells us, had difficulty removing the right rear wheel as Ryan Blaney celebrates his stage 1 win at Richmond. Penalties on pit stops. Alex Bowman pitting out of the box. He won this race last year after a tire violation. He'll have to come back again. Cody Ware over the wall too soon. Let's take a look at this pit stop and watch. You're going to see all of the crew come around the front of the car so the rear tire changer and carrier don't have to wait till the car goes by before they jump over pit wall and come around. It also means they can go back around the front of the car and not interfere with the work of the gas man.
It's a really clean choreography when it all works properly, and these guys have been touting about, you know, how good this is since before the season. Actually, a rule change to allow the teams to go ahead and approach the car in this manner, and I do think there's possibility that it could benefit some pit road times when everybody gets it all squared away. But right now, it's not quite there. Obviously, they held serve at best on pit road right there, but right now, everybody is on pins and needles coming onto pit road. I think that probably impacts a little bit.
Regan?
Mike, the only Joe Gibbs car that did not do that pit stop, the 20 of Christopher Bell. The reason being they have a light pole in the middle of their pit box. They weren't sure how the choreography would work based on where he stops in the pit box. They wanted to see where he stopped before they determined if they do it.
But Larry tells us they were the fastest of the 4 Gibbs cars.
Exactly. If you're going to advertise a new way, man, you better show up. And
I want a pole in my pit box.
The old way outrun you.
I'm looking. There's a lot of poles in the pit boxes down there.
Here they come to the Geico restart zone to start stage 2. Blaney and Chastain on the front row.
Three wide into turn 1 here.
Chase Elliott in a 9 had trouble getting up through the gearbox. I don't know if he spun the tires a little bit, more than likely.
And Kyle Busch going to win that battle for 4th place, it looks like, until Chase stuffs it into turn 3. Single file through 5th, 3 wide in the middle of the pack.
Those usually don't end with everybody happy.
Austin Cindric got into Tyler Reddick's number 8 just a little bit there. Casual contact. Harrison Burton tries for the middle.
Eric Oloroy, he's trying to get down, just can't quite get it finally.
He just clipped it there. Okay, yeah. I'll get in there.
Harrison gave him a break on that.
Right here is a crew chief. Once again, you're telling your driver, take care of your tires right now for me. Just please take care of your tires. It's going to come back, and it's going to pay dividends late on. But, man, it's really hard to get your driver not to get to that gas pedal when he's trying to race for position right now.
7th place at stake there. Logano on the outside of Byron. Now watch the 9 on the restart, and you'll see that Chase Elliott does not take off well. 2nd car on the inside.
Spun
pretty bad.
Yep.
And that stacked everything up, and Kyle Busch was able to go through the middle and pass that whole group.
It spun pretty hard. It's almost like it was in tried 1st gear instead of 2nd.
Sixth place now for Logano, who keeps moving forward. And we listened in on the 19, Martin Truex.
I don't know about the brakes. I don't know if like getting them hot here would try and do anything, or I have no idea if it did anything with fans or bias do anything. I tried the fans for about 5 laps, and it was as bad or maybe worse, so I turned it back off. I don't know what to do. I haven't messed with bias at all. Just the brake tubes. I got so loose in there in the long run.
This track is notorious for brake issues, and it can be on one side of the scale or the other. It can be that you've gotten your brakes too hot, that you start to get buildup, or something on the rotor that's starting to create a chatter, or something that doesn't feel right. Or on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you don't use the brakes enough. You don't get them up to temperature enough, and they have a chatter because of that. Really a difficult place.
Which usually I pick the latter for this conversation, because on that longer run, you start slowing everything down. You back the corner up. You don't use the brakes near as much. Those brakes have an optimum temperature that they want to be. And if you get that thing cooler than that, they start building pad material up, start shaking, and no place does it worse than here in Richmond.
Look at Hamlin and Harvick side by side. In any other year, these would be 2 drivers you'd expect to be right at the front contending for the win. But it takes time to get to the front here as they race for 10th place.
As we have these brake problems, you start to think about the fans, the cooling and all that. And how about old Larry Mack? I bet he can show us a little something about that.
Well, Chad, we certainly can, because a lot of things changed about this next-gen car. We know that on the wheel, we went from a 15-inch diameter wheel to an 18-inch, even though we went from steel to aluminum. You build the inside of the wheel bigger, they're going to fill it up with brakes. Look at how big this brake package is. It's about 30% more braking, and Chad, you know how much brake you use here at this 3/4-mile track, especially getting off into turn 1.
But I think that's why you start having the trouble with that much more braking. All of a sudden you don't need it as much. When you start slowing your pace down, you back off of those brakes because they have so much more brake than they're used to. You get those temperatures cooled off, and now the thing starts shaking.
And speaking of just that, here's Ryan Blaney.
Got some vibrations under braking that I didn't have the first round. Under braking, you don't feel entry.
A vibration in the brakes.
Once again, I'm going to say it like I said before. It doesn't usually get better. They typically don't fix themselves. You might get yourself into a position where you can tape off the brakes a little bit, try to get a little bit more heat in there if you are working on the wrong side of the spectrum. But man, 9 times out of 10, that sticks with you all race long.
Chase Elliott carrying our A-Shock Energy camera this week. Has a lot of support here as Ryan Blaney continues to lead at lap 92. Keep your hands on the wheel. Haven't seen a lot of shifting, but as we get longer into a run, we may. And we'll show it to you on our onboard cameras. 99 laps complete, 29 into 160 laps of stage 2. Well, let's get to Shifty Regan Smith here.
Well, Mike, ask and you shall receive. You've mentioned the shifting. If anybody's doing it or not doing it, take a listen to Kyle Larson's radio under this last yellow.
Technique-wise, is anybody shifting?
Well, the best cars are not. I did notice when you were, and obviously understood why. And then I think, with the way our car is driving, you're probably getting everything you can out of it with that balance. Here, we tried going the other way on air pressures from what we did the first time.
Why does Cliff Daniels sound almost just like Chad Knaus on the radio? Almost. Clint, do you get that?
I hate to say this. He reminds me of an air traffic controller. Exactly what he sounds like.
Man, I'm telling you.
But I'm telling you, everything that he says, I'm going to put to the bank because that car always seems to be on point and fast.
Those guys do a great job. Cliff is awesome. He and his group, they study super hard with all the resources that they've got at their fingertips at Hendrick Motorsports. And he's a very matter-of-fact kind of guy. And usually not a ton of emotion, just facts. Hey, this is what we have to do to make our car go faster, or what's going on. And it's just fun to watch those guys continue to improve as they go.
Battle for second here with Christopher Bell passing the one of Ross Chastain. I told you at the end of that last stage, I saw the 20 of Christopher Bell really starting to roll. Had good long run pace. I think you're seeing it again here in this second run.
Ford with the lead, Chevy second, Toyota third. Blaney, Chastain, Bell. Ryan Blaney has now led over 300 laps this year. That is 3/4 as many as what he led all of last season.
Wow, it's a lot of laps.
Let's go back to 5th place. Chase Elliott. Jamie?
Chase Elliott, the only Hendrick driver without a win this year. And I talked to his crew chief, Alan Gustafson. He told me they unloaded yesterday, and it was like a white-knuckle event. He said, we were off, and we were down on speed, and they qualified 15th. He said they made a few adjustments, and it certainly helped today. He's already gained 10 positions despite that stumble on the last restart.
And he was doing some shifting as that last long run wore on. He's the second highest Chevy in the race behind Chastain.
What I really like about what I see here with Chase, if you're a crew chief trying to look and see what's going on, because you have to use all of your tools. His hands are very calm on the steering wheel. Like he's not sawing the wheel a tremendous amount. He doesn't look like he's out of control. It's just nice and smooth. The guy's saving his tires. He understands where he's at. He's running the top 5, and he's doing a really good job right there. But these are the types of things as a crew chief. You're like, okay, I'm listening to my driver. I'm looking at what the TV's got to show me. I'm looking to where he's riding on the racetrack, looking at the lap time, and you put all that together to try to figure out exactly where you're stacking up.
From looking at it, from my perspective, the car just looks very neutral. Very, he's not overpowering this wheel, having to lean on it really hard to keep the car turning in the center of the corner. It looks pretty neutral, free up off the corner. Just pretty good balance.
Denny Hamlin, Chris Buescher for 11th place here.
Well, his teammate was fast in that first run. If they had some air pressure differences or anything, at least a little bit, they probably made those adjustments on that pit stop. Now you have both your cars marching to the front.
Only 2 drivers in the top 13 right now have been to victory lane this year. Ross Chastain and William Byron. We heard Ryan Blaney talking about a brake shudder. Jamie?
Well, good news for Ryan Blaney fans. As of right now, he says it has gone away. No vibration, and the team's response was maybe it was just low air pressure.
Well, I was wrong.
It's another maybe. But it's another maybe, right?
Clearly it does fix itself here in Richmond if things are going just how you want them to. And I guess if you've led 111 laps or so, it is going exactly the way you want it.
But Clint said it. If he's out front in clean air and he can just roll the corner and stay off those brakes, well, maybe good things can happen.
Well, now you're starting to see him in traffic and things like that. Again, there's a temperature that they want to run, that optimum temperature where all of those gremlins go away. And if, as a driver inside that car, You can dictate that temperature. If you're overcharging a corner, and a lot of times you adjust your car with your driving style at a track like this. If that thing's loose in, I'm going to charge that corner hard, use a lot of brake, and try to build some temperature into those front tires to hopefully try to help myself and tighten my car up. On a short track like Richmond, those are some things you can do inside that car to try to help yourself. Try to help the balance of that car.
Chad, you know what you just learned? As a crew chief analyst in the booth, unlike being on the box, you can make a call like that, and you don't have to take the heat on Monday about it.
Oh, that was great.
Alex Bowman restarted 28th. He's gained 5 spots after that pit road penalty. 112 laps complete. Ryan Blaney has led them all so far. 119 of 400 laps complete. Ryan Blaney the leader, but here are your Toyota top performers. Christopher Bell has moved into second. Kyle Busch is fourth. Martin Truex sixth. Denny Hamlin just outside the top 10, and Bubba Wallace in 22nd. Getting deeper into the run, let's check our onboard drivers. See who's taking that right hand and using it to shift. Saw Chase Elliott do it a couple of laps ago. Saw Brad reach his left hand out, get a little fresh air out there.
Look at this. This is something Chad and I saw. See Brad Keselowski, that points on his steering wheel there. I'm interested to know what he has going on. I think that may be a guide. Maybe he's using that to you know, correlate how tight or how much wheel he has in the center of the corner. What do you think?
Well, I think it could be, for sure. There's definitely tools that you could use there, but I think that very well could be a situation where you're on pit road.
Yeah.
You turn your wheel to the right a little bit to make sure you can get the right side tires off of it. You turn the wheel to the left a little bit to make sure you get the left side tires off of it, because you've had so many issues with tire clearance and the guys trying to get the wheels and tire assembly out of the wheel well.
I like that. I like yours better. See the 9 shifting now.
So he downshifted probably as he was going through traffic there. You get more bogged down.
Fast friends again. Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick are back at it. This time they're battling for 11th. And here comes Martin Truex to pit road. Regan.
Mike Crew Chief James Small just hopped on the radio, said pit this time. Martin did. That race car just a little too tight in the middle, can't get it to turn, and the brake shake, as we've heard earlier, is still a problem for him, shaking the wheel out of his hands at times.
And Larry Mack and I were just talking about that during the break. Man, we were wondering if about this point in time we might see some guys try to do a double pit stop through this and have a triple stint. Larry, you got any thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, if you go back to our Verizon race strategy, we based it off of a lot of cautions and maybe splitting it in half. But what we're seeing James Small do there with Martin Truex Jr., he's going to do it in thirds. He's going to probably run somewhere around, 50 laps a stint here.
What do you gain there? By breaking it into thirds as Kyle Busch comes to pit road. He's got both the RFK cars coming with him. They were both in the top 10, and William Byron pitting. Regan?
Mike, it's been a good day so far for Brad Keselowski. That race car, good on entry, just a little bit too tight across the middle for him right now. Jamie?
Kyle Busch in that 18 been pretty good all weekend. He's a little bit too tight in the center, a little loose on exit as they work and continue. 4-tire stop here. William Byron, remember they had that slow pit stop last time on pit road. They just made that chassis adjustment. A 4-tire stop here. Make sure that left rear goes on and it's smooth.
Harvick, Cindric, Reddick, and Suarez are pitting under green.
A lot of monkey see, monkey do in this type of situation. You don't want to be the first guy to put your toe out there, but if you're the first guy, you're the one that capitalizes the most in this type of situation, because you're the first guy on track with fresh tires, and you can really start to make some hay. Jamie, what have you got down there?
Kevin Harvick was yelling on the radio that he just has no rear drive. The tires are gone. He couldn't wait to come in and get these 4 fresh sticker tires. Good stop.
Last year's winner, Alex Bowman, now comes to pit road, and with him come the leader, Bubba Wallace. And here's the leader, Ryan Blaney. Harrison Burton completes his stop. Corey LaJoie is in. Here comes Kyle Larson. Jamie.
And the 48 had pitted outside his box and got that penalty on the first stop. It's because he couldn't see his signboard the way it was through the pillar in the race car. So he asked him to hold that signboard out longer. Looks like he had no problem with it this time.
Regan.
Mike Ross-Chastain, yet again, speed this week. Every week out of this one car, too loose in and off of the corners right now for him.
Joey Logano, Ricky Stenhouse finishing up. Ty Dillon is in. There's Cole Custer, who's back on the lead lap. There is no commitment cone. That would present a problem, but the commitment box is sometimes a little hard to find. And then there's getting down to pit road speed.
He's got tires locked up big time getting in, but there is time to be made there. Do not overstep that. Get caught speeding.
Jamie.
Chase Elliott, a little bit different look this weekend. So far, the car has been decent. Hasn't said a whole lot on the radio. Just 4 tires here. They'll fill them up with fuel as much as they need to make it to the next pit stop, guys.
All right, the cars that have not stopped. Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon, Chase Briscoe, and Todd Gilliland. Here's Briscoe on pit road. 4 tires and fuel.
So now,
sorry, just the top 6 have not pitted.
And what these guys are hoping for right now from a strategy standpoint, they're thinking, okay, we need a caution. We need to get a little bit further. We need to have a caution. Try to get us off sequence of the guys. Or they're thinking, okay, we're going to get to our window, which is going to be around lap 154, 155 range. We're going to pit and see if we can make hay on those guys. But then the other group's going to pit again about 175.
Twins out there. The RFK cars were running in the top 10 before these stops, and now they come out there 11th and 12th, so they only lost a spot or 2. The problem is everybody who's stopped is now 1 lap down to the lead 6 cars.
And frantically trying to catch that lead car, Christopher Bell, get their lap back.
Yeah, you've got the 12 that's entering turn 3, the 20's exiting turn 4. He should have him probably in just another lap or 2. You can see that gap to the 20 right there, stuck behind the 14 car. And that's the hard part about being on similar lap count tires as the people you're racing. It's really difficult to get by them, but they can really slow you down.
Yeah, both those cars are on brand new tires. Working some lap traffic there. Now behind Blaney is Kyle Busch, and we've got some audio about the 18's last stop.
When I came in the box, I tried to just do clutch and brake. I got stuck in 2nd gear. I couldn't get it to shift during the stop, the first to leave. Okay.
Wouldn't go into 1st gear.
Really hard to shift gears with this car when it's not moving, when it's just sitting idle. It's kind of like being on a motorcycle. When it's just sitting there static and you got it in 3rd gear and you're trying to get it down into 1st, you push it back and forth, push it back and forth.
I've been in a situation like Christopher Bell is, and this is the only caveat to this that makes it challenging to call this race under this strategy. Yes, you are counting on a lap time. You look up and Christopher Bell's running a 25:15. You can count on, all right, he can run those. The problem is everybody on tires keeps blowing by him, taking the optimum line out. Now he's having to run on the outside. He's 2 and 3 wide. What you saw with the teammates of the 14 and the 41 in front of him. You can't optimize that lap time out there on those old tires. You end up losing a lot more time than you thought you were going to.
Christopher Bell out front these last 12 laps. These pit crew members are going to have a lot to say with who prevails today in Richmond. Eric Jones just pitted out of 3rd place. Here's one of the questions in Clint's contest on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Now, most of the questions are about Stage 2, but which Richmond winner will have the best finish in today's race? Not at the end of Stage 2, but at the end of the race.
All right, friends, I'm thinking you better have picked that 19 of Martin Truex Jr. That call to bring him in and be the first one on pit road. Gutsy call, because that caution could come out and bite you, make you look bad, but not so much. I think these guys are the ones for that answer.
Watch the 48.99 off turn 2 here. Whoa!
That is amazing. What a save, Daniel Suarez.
Alex Bowman was even impressed.
That was a caution that just didn't happen.
Battling for 21st place. That happened. You see Kurt Busch back on track in the 45. Jamie, they replaced what? Everything on that car? I know they replaced the ECU, replaced a whole bunch of wiring, but they got him back out there. He's 107 laps down, but he continues. Let's check in with Larry and get today's Subway right combination.
Well, Mike, right now they're running 1, 2, 3 and all in the top 5. Joe Gibbs Racing in Richmond Raceway. When you look at their current driver lineup, Kyle, Denny, and Martin, they have a combined total of 12 Richmond wins. Even Christopher Bell, he has 3 Xfinity Series wins. This race 1 year ago, Joe Gibbs Racing led 315 of 400 laps, and all 4 drivers finished in the top 8. They've actually finished 1, 2, 3 in 2 of the last 5 Richmond races. I'd say this could be the Subway right combination to end this 12 race winless streak for the coach and Joe Gibbs Racing.
I'd say you could be right.
Running 1, 2, 3 right now, looking good.
We're fastly approaching when that 20 car should be starting to think about pitting. Of that 155 range, I'm going to bet is when they'll start to see him hit pit road.
Well, there are now only 3 lead lap cars that have not pitted. Christopher Bell, your leader, Denny Hamlin, who has cycled up to 3rd, and Eric Almirola in 9th.
This is painful.
Going back to what I was talking about, how he's having to manage that and optimizing these old tires, and you know, you see that another car getting underneath of him. He can't get down. Ty Dillon going underneath of him, can't get down in that line that he wants to run.
Todd Gilliland makes a scheduled stop. He was a lap down, and now Eric Almirola, one of the drivers I mentioned, gives up his position.
But again, I want to give credit to Christopher Bell. He's doing a good job of managing that. You know, if you see a guy come up, again, it's all about managing and optimizing that time. You know that guy's going to pass you. Let him pass you somewhere. Here comes Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin on pit road. Christopher Bell's lap times are within 1/10 of anybody in the top 5. So no urgency for him to come to pit road. However, here he is. Jamie.
And Denny Hamlin had fallen back a few positions, and that was by design. He was just taking care of those tires as long as he could, saying everything is better than it was earlier. The first stage of this race, still a little bit tight in traffic, but not bad for the 11, Regan.
Christopher Bell, your leader, very happy with his race car right now. The only issues for him, a little bit of brake shake.
Well, this will complete the cycle, and the first driver to make the green flag stop, Martin Truex, goes to the lead over Blaney, Kyle Busch, Logano, and Elliott.
He felt it. He told us on the grid when we were down there talking with Martin Truex Jr. What do you think? And he said, man, I feel like we got ourselves something today. They made the right call on pit road. He's got a 3.5-second lead right now over second place on Blaney, who had the lead before that pit stop cycle started.
But we got a chance to talk to not only him, we talked to his teammate as well. Nobody's. Denny Hamlin had owned this place through the course of my career, right? And I didn't have that sense of confidence coming out of Denny Hamlin that I heard and felt in Martin Truex. And I think the proof's in the pudding. Truex knew, man. He was confident in his car and their ability to take control of this race.
So we've cycled all through green flag stops, and we're back to 18 cars on the lead lap, led by Martin Truex. Coming exclusively to movie theaters this Easter, Mark Wahlberg is Father Stu. Here's a look at this upcoming release. NASCAR on Fox is sponsored by Father Stew in theaters April 13th. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. 95 of 160 laps complete in stage 2. So we've compared the 11 and the 20 as we look at today's pit performance, sponsored by eBay Motors. And there's a look at the difference. 3/10 to the good for Christopher Bell on the driver's side and 3/10 to the crew side. And that adds up. Bell currently 17th and Hamlin 24th.
And it's in that conversation of the secret and how they want to do that, how they approach it. It didn't seem like it worked for the 11. They didn't try it that time. 20 did. Faster. Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah, because what happened, if you go back to that last stop right there, Christopher Bell, Adam Stevens, the 20, they did it the new way. The 11 car, Chris Gabehart, and the 11 crew, they went back to the old-fashioned way, just a flip-flop from that first trip to pit road.
Sold that it's going to be the new way yet. It might be a different way, but I think there's still work to be done and things to be learned about it before you see any of these. They're the only ones. Right. It isn't like every other team on pit road can't do the same thing.
Well, that's the beauty of the situation that we're in right now, and everybody's at zero with the race car setups, driving techniques, pit crews, the way you approach a pit stop. Everything is brand new. With only being a few races into the season, you're going to continue to see people taking different leaps and different angles to try to get an advantage, and they clearly think they've got one.
Now, these two drivers battling were on pit road just 5 laps apart. Chase Elliott stopped later than Kyle Busch by just a bit, but you've seen Eric Jones passing cars at will. He was on pit road recently. Martinsville next week, and now we're just 14 days away from Cup cars on dirt. Bristol Motor Speedway, Easter Sunday night, April 17th on Fox.
I cannot wait to see this car and these guys do battle on that dirt. Something I've been looking forward to all season long. Some of these guys have already been to Bristol. Kyle Larson there over the last couple nights racing a dirt late model, and I know there's others as well. Everybody's trying to get some seat time in preparation for that dirt, baby.
So here's Martin Truex, your leader, who was last on pit road, Larry, 48 laps ago.
Yeah, he was the first one to pit, Mike, and I'm going to say Chad and I were talking probably within the next 4 to 6 laps, maybe no more than 8. We should see him back on pit road trying to get advantage of those new tires quickly.
19 cars on the lead lap with 57 to go in stage 2.
I am really impressed with the RFK cars today. They've been running well, running fast, taking opportunities when they can. Calculated, both cars are running really, really well.
Our Ford Cam on board Brad Keselowski. In 8th place, Chris Buescher in 10th. And here are the Penske Fords battling for 2nd as Joey Logano pulls down on Ryan Blaney. Chase Elliott right with them, and Ross Chastain and more.
That 9 car is pretty sporty. He hasn't had a chance to have that clean air and be up front on a restart.
Chastain on pit road.
Excuse me.
There. Ross Chastain pitting. So he'll be the first of the cars to make the 2nd green flag stop in this stage.
Again, that's the way to do it. You want to be the first guy to do it. The 19 following him onto pit road right now. But the advantage is going to go to the 1 car. Now, he may not be able to eclipse the 19, who they're doing that new pit stop choreography that we've been talking so much about.
And here comes the rest, too.
And it brought everybody else down, including the 9 car of Chase Elliott.
Regan.
Martin Truex Jr. with that race car right now started a little bit too loose this run for the long run. A small adjustment for that.
Jamie?
As Many of them, as Chad said, monkey see, monkey do. Let's come on down. The 18 of Kyle Busch in, struggling with the balance a little bit on that race car. They've been adjusting like they did right there as they worked the left side. Ryan Blaney, who led 128 laps today, just an air pressure adjustment, got too tight there, was wearing out his tires.
This will cycle Christopher Bell back to the lead. He pitted 22 laps ago. And just about everybody who is in pit road on this two-stop cycle has now been in. Regan?
The 5-car Kyle Larson early on in the race was struggling in and off of the corners with that race car snapping loose. Kyle has been quiet on the radio since then, though pretty happy with the 5-car.
They didn't wait around near as long to watch that guy taking advantage of it. As soon as he came, as soon as that one car was on pit road, everybody came that lap. Come now.
And the last one to pit in this cycle will be William Byron, entering pit road now. So Christopher Bell will be your leader, from Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, Eric Almirola, and Austin Dillon. Jamie.
William Byron in the 24, just really tight. Is the only feedback he's really given his team as he comes to pit road for a 4-tire stop.
And again, we're going to be in this situation of playing the waiting game with a lot of cars now trapped one lap down because of these stops.
And this is the cycle you're going to see. It's going to be interesting to see how far or where the 11, the 20, the 43, the 10, they stack up in comparison to the 19 and the rest of the guys that are going to pit twice versus their one-stop pit. But you know, Mike, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm watching this new pit stop choreography, and look, I think we all see the advantages of what can happen from an all-out speed standpoint. But you actually mentioned something that I really hadn't taken into consideration as I started to analyze a little bit more. The fueler is able to stay plugged in the whole time. Now, you mentioned that, and I was like, yeah. But the facts are here, it doesn't matter, right? You're not going to worry about that here. But you fast forward to a road course. You fast forward to Indianapolis. You fast forward to Michigan. That extra gallon, half gallon, whatever it is, that's going to come into play at those racetracks. Is something that maybe the rest of us haven't considered quite as much.
We'll see how it plays out, and we'll see how many teams adopt this newly approved strategy of having the whole crew, except the fueler, of course, come around the front of the car on stops. $11 cars on the lead lap now, with most of the cars that stopped trapped a lap down. Following Kevin Harvick in 12th, he is the last car on the lead lap.
And nothing to really worry about right now, because 3 miles an hour faster than the leaders right there, because he did the two-stop strategy versus the one-stop strategy.
So the one-stoppers at the front: Bell, Hamlin, Jones, Almirola. 6th place here. Blaney was the first of the two-stoppers to make that second stop. And
excuse me, coming through.
Blaney carried him up the racetrack there.
That might get you a little.
Yeah, it did too.
Yeah.
Big time. How about that?
Go.
Did not like that, and I'm paying him back.
That is short track racing right there, buddy.
Want to see this again?
This is a little payback right there. Did not like it at all. Watch his hands inside the car.
Woo! Thank goodness for yellow gloves.
But, you know, that's Ross Chastain. He has a reputation of, I don't give a crap, I don't take any crap, I am not in the crap business.
Well, I don't know about all that, but man, that's number one and a number two business. But I tell you what, Blaney is the same guy. Literally the same mentality, the same driver. That's two young drivers. Are both extremely aggressive, and it doesn't surprise me in the least. And I don't know that it's over. That 12 may get to the back bumper of the one again. You better run, because I'm coming.
Now, by pitting one lap earlier than the rest of the drivers on that cycle, Ross Chastain gained 4 spots.
That's what we were saying, Mike. Remember, the first one to have the guts to hit pit road, you're going to get an opportunity to take advantage of that.
Christopher Bell leads Denny Hamlin by 11.5 seconds. With 211 laps to go in Richmond. .195 laps complete. Christopher Bell leading. Here is who has made it to Ruoff Mortgage Victory Lane so far this season. 6 different drivers, all under age 30, by the way, as have been all of the 12 most recent winners in the Cup Series. Who will join them today? A lot of differing strategies. 2-stop, 1-stop for stage 2. Christopher Bell on the 1-stop strategy, the leader. So is Denny Hamlin in 3rd. And so is Eric Jones in 11th, and Eric Almirola in 13th. Everybody else on the 2-stop strategy. Why are my driver and 7-time champion crew chief arguing up here?
Because I'm trying to explain to Boyer it's way more difficult than what you think. As you're out there and you're trying to get your strategy to get your driver in a position where you can leapfrog some guys on track, it's really difficult to pass here. You're watching the guys hit pit road, you're thinking, okay, what is that delta? How much time has elapsed? Where are they going to shake out? And if I pit, what's going to happen? So if you're on there and you're trying to look at any lap time or any type of delta between where you were when you were just on track a moment ago, 5 laps are gone.
You see how long it is for you to try to sell this point? You have one job to do. I'm out here swatting flies in this race car that you decided to not help me out the last 17 times we pitted with your strategy. I told you 5 times it was loose getting into the corner. I'm still out here swatting flies loose into the corner. I've got people 3 wide out here on different strategies. That was the only job you had.
Chad, I got your back. I've been dealing with 2 drivers for the last 7 years. And you know my definition of a crew chief. It's a guy that gets to travel, that makes a good living, that listens to somebody that makes millions of dollars tell you how bad everything is.
Do you see this workload right here? This guy, workload right there. Enough said.
Oh,
here's it. Look, see, swatting flies in there. Denny, look at the focus.
What do you?
There's isn't
he
even
looks like he's out on a Sunday drive right now. I mean, he's out there running 3rd, cruising along
up here.
Jamie Mack, you and Larry Mack back in the studio. You don't argue like this, do you?
Only on the weekdays. Yeah, weekdays. It is so interesting though to listen to the drivers and crew chiefs debate that. I'm obviously on Clint's side. I don't think a crew chief understands how hard you're working in the car, the struggle of maybe trying to stay on the lead lap or stay out there on old tires. And here we see Cliff Daniels having a drink, a little bit of bubble gum, no problem on the pit box for him.
I'm telling you, you have no idea. You just have no idea.
And again, never once have I discounted what you drivers do out there, because it is an extremely difficult task for sure. But I do have a huge amount of sympathy for the crew chiefs at this racetrack, because there's so much that happens so quick in that one span of about 5 to 8 laps where you better make your decision. You better make the right decision, because if you're the first one to hit pit road, Clint, and the caution comes out, you're even madder at me about that.
Right.
Monday
morning meeting's going to be even worse.
and Chad, don't you love the fact that the driver, I won the race. We ran like crap today if you run back.
But if we wreck, it's always, we wrecked down there in turn 2, got loose.
we.
I love that about an interview, and I've done it so many times. You bust your butt down in turn 2 or something. The first thing you do is get out and tell Jimmy Little on the TV that it was we wrecked down there.
The only guy who has it worse than the crew chief in that regard is the engine builder, because it's either we won the race or your engine blew. There's no middle ground here. Right.
Well, Mike Joy, I'll say this. There's a special seat in heaven for you having to deal with all this.
Well, I mean, if you sit back and you look at it right now, right? We've got the 19 car, Martin Truex Jr., catching the 20 at a very rapid pace, only 3.8 seconds behind them right now. And the reason they are in this position right now is because of Small. Crew Chief James Small, he is the one that made this thing happen, put them in this spot. He is, unless something odd happens, going to cruise on up there, win this stage, and go ahead and take home 10 points.
100% agree with that comment, and it is true. That strategy and his willingness, that gutsy call to put him on pit road first, that's That's why he gets paid the big bucks, and that was a great decision to put them up front.
And it all works out just fine unless we enter the spin cycle and cautions start coming out. But now things have cycled around to where we have 19 cars on the lead lap. Back to Austin Dillon in 19. Austin Cindric is in the free pass position. First car 1 lap down in 20th. 23 to go in this stage, and all these drivers trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. And here comes the 20. Christopher Bell trying to make some room. Here comes Ricky Stenhouse way on the outside. Is going to pass them all.
Grab a gear.
And I think that's exactly what's happening, Chad. You know, we heard when the 9 car of Chase Elliott was shifting earlier, the one thing that I did notice, he downshifted and never reached over and pulled that lever again.
I wasn't going to say that, and you picked up on it. That's right. and one quick one right here. Everybody's thinking, oh, see, this didn't play out well for the 11 car. Chastain's getting by him right now. But go ahead and go back just a little bit when we were talking at the beginning of the race about your tire allocation. Right now, the guys that are only pitting one time in this stage of the race, they're going to have one additional set of tires behind their pit box that they can use at the end of the race. So that is an advantage for them. If we get a short run, if we get 30, 35 laps, let's say right now there's only, how many cars lead lap? We've got 18 cars lead lap.
Turn 1 contact. Excuse me, Christopher Bell with Daniel Suarez trying to get a lap back from him. Suarez is on much fresher tires, and look what happens.
Whoa, it's still going on.
Yeah.
Not a lot of room when you're 3 wide like that. They got together, but then got down into turn 3 and 4, and same way again. Suarez washed up in 3.
And we're going to have a lead change right here. Martin Truex is there. Truex to the inside of Bell. On 20-lap fresher tires, Martin Truex back to the lead in traffic, using that 43 of Eric Jones as a pick. New leader, Martin Truex, who had led only 17 laps in this season, entering today, goes back out front and will go Fox side by side.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive because we were created for officers. But as we've evolved with the military, we've grown to serve all who've honorably served, no matter their rank or when they were in. A Marine just out of boot camp, or a petty officer from 73, and even his kids and their kids. USAA is made for all who honorably served and their eligible family members. Are we still exclusive? Absolutely. And that's exactly why you should join.
The racing, the big one, the camping, it's all just bigger at Talladega. And with a doubleheader on Saturday and the premiere of the next-gen cars on Sunday, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And if they go across the stripe, a photo finish!
NASCAR's biggest and baddest track is back. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Saturday, it's time for the next chapter in an age-old rivalry. It's time for the Red Sox and Yankees. Because this is my Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on FS1.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations. With 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future, T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
It's still the Eat Fresh Refresh, and Subway's refreshing their Italians. So we're taking this to Italy. Refresh. Because Subway now has Italian-style capicola on the new matzo meat and supreme meats. Love the smell of Italian food.
Subway keeps refreshing and refreshing.
Catch all that? Well, get ready for this. I am Full Throttle. I am NASCAR.
Fox Nation, it's the place to stream all your Fox favorites. Sign up now and dive into all the great content Fox Nation has to offer. For the powerful perspectives you need, stream primetime all the time and original programs you won't see anywhere else. For a limited time, get 50% off our annual plans, and when you sign up for our Silver 2-year plan, get a free audio copy of Shannon Bream's new book, Mothers and Daughters of the Bible Speak. Go to foxnation.com now to sign up and claim your offer.
Talladega. I love this place, but I hate this place. We're upside down. Killed. There are roots in my head.
Talladega, April 24th on Fox.
Don't worry about tomorrow.
Oh, that's going to be fun. What a fun season so far. Here we are at Richmond. Brad Keselowski's 2 cars running quite well up in 11th and 12th as things cycle through here with just 10 laps to go in stage 2. 11th through 13th place battle here. Martin Truex has cycled back to the lead on James Small's pit strategy ahead of his Joe Gibbs teammate. Toyota driver Christopher Bell. A Chevy is 3rd. Ross Chastain, and Fords. Penske Fords are 4th and 5th. Blaney and Logano. Still 17 cars on the lead lap. Only car out of the race, Greg Biffle. Kurt Busch was in the garage for 100+ laps, but he's back out there. Here's 3rd through 5th.
Good little battle going on as well.
So many ways to get around this racetrack. So many opportunities. It's great. You see, I'm going to run the middle groove. I'm going to run the low groove. I'm going to shoot up high and see what happens up there. Really a lot of excitement. This race is great during the day.
Alex Bowman has done a great job of rebounding from that pit penalty at the first stage break, lap 70, pitted out of the box. And he's really had to work to get back up from 28th on the restart to 14th right now, 13th right now.
Alex is really happy with his car yesterday. He knew he didn't have the fastest car in practice, didn't qualify just how he wanted to. But, you know, when you talk to a driver and he looks at you and says, man, my car's pretty good. I feel like it's pretty good. And if you're here and your driver has that amount of confidence, he's like, man, I feel like I can go out there and drive and race all day long. That is a good thing, because there's a lot of folks out there that are just hanging on and trying to survive the day.
Yeah, this is probably here more than anywhere I go. This was a track that you, even though you felt good in practice, again, you're usually by yourself on that long run. You're trying to give your crew chief a long run where he can get the cambers and make sure the air pressures and really get a good read on his hot rod. But from a driver's perspective, it's hard to get a good gauge on what that run really felt like. All the while keeping in the back of your mind, this long run in real life on Sunday when the money's on the line is going to be out there with 40 guys on different strategies trying to navigate around, like you see Blaney getting to the bottom of Todd Gilliland and making moves. Those are all the things that you can't, you know, work on Saturday or feel.
So everybody in the top 15 made 2 stops in this stage except Christopher Bell in 2nd place and Denny Hamlin in 14th place on the 1 stop. 3 to go, stage 2. Here's a snapshot of Martin Truex's day on pit road. There are the 3 stops. The first one at the stage break, and the second 2 stops under green, and both right around 11 seconds. So
you heard me say earlier the job that I felt like Christopher Bell in that 20 car was doing of managing those old tires, managing, you know, where to get past on fresher tires and things like that. And I think you don't have to look any further than that very fact. Him and his teammate both on the same cycle, pretty drastic where they're running in the pecking order.
You're 100% correct. But again, let's go back to our pre-race conversation with Denny Hamlin. He didn't have any confidence in his car. So maybe it's just the delta between where his car has performance and where his team is right now versus where that 20 is. But still, once again, I'm going to go back, and I got to reinforce this. He's got an extra set of tires.
Yeah.
And that's going to help them at the end of this race if we start to get some rapid cautions.
Final lap of stage 2, which runs caution free. And Toyota takes stage 2. Martin Truex on a 2-stop strategy. Christopher Bell on a 1-stop. It's Truex's 5th stage win at Richmond, tied for the most ever. Saturday, one of the most famous rivalries in the history of sport in America. Red Sox, Yankees, baseball back on FS1 Saturday at 3:30 Eastern. FS1 and the Fox Sports app is where you'll find Major League Baseball. At Richmond, you'll find us at the end of stage 2 with 167 laps to go. Martin Truex on a 2-stop strategy leading. Christopher Bell on a 1-stop strategy in second, and with an extra set of tires for this final run of 170 laps to the checkered flag. 2 Toyotas led Ross Chastain's Chevy, Logano and Blaney in Fords to the green and white checkers. Then Elliott, Harvick, Kyle Busch, Larson, and Keselowski all receiving stage points.
And you mentioned Keselowski. Let's watch this right here, because he's only a little bit behind where the 19 is, but they're pitted in front of the 19. So let's see if 19 has any trouble getting off of pit road with that 6 car right in front of him. Let's find out. Regan.
Well, Ross Chastain, the 1 car, struggling right now to keep the rear tires on that race car. Maybe he's spinning them too much. The 19 of Martin Truex Jr., they adjusted on that last run to tighten them up just a little bit. Slightly too far with that race car in the 20 of Christopher Bell. Loose with that race car. Needs a little more lateral grip. Jamie?
Well, they were going in the right direction with the 9, but this time Chase Elliott fired off too tight, and then he abused his rear tires too much to be able to keep up with the rest of them. The 12 of Ryan Blaney, frustrated with Ross Chastain there and used up his tires too much. They said, you need to start earlier in the run. Take care of those tires. It was 4 here and an air pressure adjustment.
Ram race off pit road shows the front 4 holding station. Kyle Busch picking up 3 as Truex gets a good stop. And to your question, Chad, Brad Keselowski stopped deep in his pit box because he had an empty box in front of him. No conflict there.
Yep, great.
Guys, let's get to the 19, the stage 2 winner. Martin Truex Jr. It's Boyer and the boys up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you, Boyer.
Man, how about that strategy? Old James Small got you in first, got you out. Strategy's on point. You're holding a pretty wheel out there. Tell me what you have.
Yeah, Auto Owners Camry's been pretty good. Obviously, pretty difficult to pass out there. So strategy, track position's huge. So James nailed that one. Awesome job by him. And now we got track position for the final stage here. So we'll do our best to keep our balance where it needs to be and hang on to this lead.
Well, man, when we talked to you before the race, you had the confidence. You wasn't lying to us. Fast car, doing a good job, man. Keep it up and good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I would never lie to you.
Martin Truex Jr. has won 3 of the last 5 races at Richmond. Here's the 3/4 mile Richmond Raceway from our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Anything can happen as long as you have the drive. Goodyear, more driven. 2 stages complete, 170 lap stage 3 to go. So we've seen how the different strategies play out as far as 1-stop or 2-stop. Clint, what do you want on this final stage?
I was just going to listen to Chad. Hey, at the end of the day, James Smalls, we saw it, and all kidding aside, him beating everybody, making the bold call to bring his car in, being the first one to do that, put him ahead. He was the one that could take off on those tires, utilize them, and that call ended up winning that stage.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be exciting. I saw it in the cars.
See this, folks? This is all of his notes on strategy and everything else. The only note I needed is this one right here. You see that? That's exactly what happened last time, and I think that's what's going to happen again.
I think you come into this final stage, you're going to see a similar set of circumstances, a little bit longer stage, right? So you got to be a little bit smart about how you attack that. But one thing about this 3rd stage, the last 5 years, we've had a caution right after the start. So it'll be interesting what happens as we roll into this next stage.
After this restart for stage 3.
It would be here, calling your shot. Let's see.
Well, here they come to the Geico restart zone for stage 3. Truex, Bell, teammates on the front row.
Good launch here. Got about 1 in here.
Now's the time to try to make some hay.
Whoa, look at all this 3 wide right in the middle of the pack. Crunch zone. 4 wide.
I think think that's Reddick. Yes, it is. And the 8 car that dipped down on the front straightaway got them in there 3 and 4 wide because of his move. See the 18 of Kyle Busch leaning on the 12. Now we're starting to see some race in that action heating up. Could be that caution you were talking about, Chad.
Joey Logano goes after second. They're 3 wide in the back. 6 cars under a blanket. And here comes Bell and Logano for second.
Still don't have it sorted out back there.
Austin Cindric, one of those stuck in the middle.
Just about had it off of turn 4 there.
Austin Cindric get into one another.
We stay green. 8 cars under a blanket now in that pack back there as we get this great battle for second. And up the hill goes Chastain. He had a little help from Blaney as Kyle Busch and Blaney move ahead of Chastain. That's for 4th.
That's not the first time we've seen action out of those two today.
Probably won't be the last.
I don't think so.
Harvick right in the middle of it. In 6th place now.
That's Boyer's pick from earlier today. He had a lot of confidence on that old 4 car and where they were going to run.
Chastain comes back on the bottom.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott following him.
It's interesting you said that, and I looked over my shoulder to see how the SHR boys were, and I don't have that confidence as much as I did at the beginning of the race as what I saw from Saturday. His teammates are struggling even more so than him. There's the Blaney getting into the 1 car. It still isn't done.
Now let's go back to the first time those two met on the track and listen to some audio.
We want to race the one very much longer, so don't have to worry about that. Copy. There's pace bar. I can pace bar. He thinks he can do anything he wants. Understood.
Ryan Blaney. Turn 2 in the wall.
Is that Keselowski or
51 car?
Cody Ware. This happened way at the back as they were still battling 2 and 3 wide. Well, Chad, we're only a few laps into this stage.
The caution.
Chad, Clint, that's what all those notes are for.
Chad, we could have been something together, man. I'm telling you right now.
You think we'd have made magic right there, buddy?
Yes. I tell you, there's all these purple cars this week with Brad and his teammate Chris Buescher having literally the exact same. See some damage on the inside for Stenhouse here.
I wasn't sure who Cody Ware got together with, but we saw the outcome. And you'll see it here out the front of Kurt Busch's Monster Energy on board.
Thanks for getting back out there, Kurt, providing us with that awesome footage. Who is that right there? That's the 43 of Eric Jones.
Eric Jones looked like he got pretty sideways off the front bumper, the 43.
And Ricky Stenhouse got some of that also.
Without Stenhouse there, he would have been in the outside wall really hard.
Only the second caution for cause today. The first one was Kurt Busch, who had no fuel pressure and stopped on the back straightaway. But that's the first caution for contact here. And now it's a question of, Larry Mack, what will you do?
Yeah, we've run 5 green flag laps. I think if you're up there near the front, you probably stay out here. We've only got 19 cars on the lead lap. If you're back there outside the top 10, you know what? Smoke them if you got them. Come on in and get 4 more.
Well, we saw that in stage 1. We saw an early caution there, and guys came down pit road and put their scuffs on. We'll see if anybody bites right now.
Pit road is open, and Denny Hamlin is going to lead a few of them onto pit road. Chris Buescher comes in with Hamlin, and so does William Byron. Jamie?
Well, Denny Hamlin, one of those that was only on a 3-stop strategy, so that means they had that extra set, so why not? And Larry Mack just said if you're outside the top 10, why not come? Well, the 11 was 11, so they decided to put on a fresh set of sticker tires there. Car right now pretty decent for Denny Hamlin.
Daniel Suarez also came. As we're under caution at lap 247 of 400 in Richmond. One to go to the restart green. Let's see how the Coca-Cola family of drivers are faring today. Joey Logano, runner-up on the outside for this restart at the front row. Denny Hamlin 15th, Daniel Suarez 18th. Austin Dillon 19th, all right in the pack there. And all on the lead lap. Back to Chase Briscoe in 20th, who got the free pass. Now, Clint Stage 2 contest has one question that airs in Stage 3, and that is which of 6 past winners here will have the best finish, and 138 of you are still alive for a shot of that $10,000 on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Good luck.
138 people still in the game, baby.
Truex Logano, Toyota Ford on the front row. 2 Toyotas row 2, Bell and Kyle Busch. Then Blaney and Harvick. Here we go back to green. Three wide bottom, and that was Chastain. And he stole a spot or 2. Still 3 wide right behind him. Brad Kay in the middle. Chase Elliott on the outside and Bowman on the bottom.
Bowman sneaking back up into the mix here. We said that earlier in the day that he was going to be a guy that was going to be a late charger to be able to get up towards the front. And there he is underneath the 1 car of Chastain.
Cole Custer made a 3 wide pass on the outside. Now things start to sort out.
You couldn't have slid a piece of paper in between the 1 of Chastain before Kevin Harvick off the 2.
Now it's Blaney and Harvick fighting for 5th. And behind them, Chastain and Elliott.
One thing we haven't talked about today at all is the fact that traffic really impairs your ability to progress. What ends up happening is you can have a faster car than that guy in front of you, but this track is so aerosensitive and it's so difficult to get a run on somebody that you can end up running the exact same speed as somebody ahead of you that's running slower, and you can't do anything about it. You just get stuck.
And behind them, Hamlin and Bowman are coming.
Oh, yeah.
I remember it's so funny you said that. One of my last memories of this place, I thought I had it won. I think everybody did. I was lights out fast that night, got to Truex, running down just easy peasy, running down 3/10 a lap faster, get to it.
Oh, trouble off turn 2. Austin Cindric goes around off, I believe, the front bumper of Cole Custer. They were 3 wide battling for a spot.
As soon as I got, to him, matched his speed, I couldn't do anything with him.
It's a tough
Literally got trapped in that bubble, and it's so important when you catch them, you have to pounce on it now, or that opportunity's gone.
Here's your replay on this. Oh,
I just see a bad angle coming.
Looks like, well,
yeah. Oh, I think Ty Dillon gets in the 41.
Well, did Ty get in the 41 or the 41 get into Ty?
41 came down a little as well. Nonetheless, those 2 are the ones that got together.
They could say we crashed.
Cindric was the outcome of them 2 getting together. So impressed with the toughness of this race car. He didn't hit that hard, man, but still, last year with that car, you'd have had tremendous amounts of damage. This thing,
no,
she ain't so bad at all.
Well, let's listen to Austin Cindric's team here.
I have no idea what happened to deserve that.
The 42 drove in deep, got into the 41, who got into your left rear.
Okay, whatever.
So now what happens? You just said 1 more caution, and it really throws this race haywire. Now we had it. Was there enough laps ran right there?
That's the key right there. I don't know that we ran enough laps, but one of the cars that hit pit road when we were out there was the 11. Where's the 11 running right now? 7th position, and he's got newer tires than everybody else. So these guys up front took notice of that. Right now, I think they hold serve, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, because we keep going with these cautions. We're working it into a 2-stop race, and here they come, feeding time.
All of them. Larry Mack, I was wrong. Come on, Regan, what do you got?
Well, Martin Truex Jr. with the 19 car, struggling with the brakes on that car right now. Every time they cool off, they shake too much for him. Not a lot they can do for that right now from the crew chief, though. The 22 car fired off too tight. Joey Logano having a good run right now, though. And the 20 of Christopher Bell, same issue as his teammate. The brakes are shaking on that race car. Jamie?
And the 18 of Kyle Busch as they work the left side there. Just a little bit tight for him. Car hasn't been terrible, kind of both ends of the spectrum, tight and loose. The 4, Kevin Harvick, in best start of the year of 7th. They've made minor adjustments to that 4 to try to get it to his liking, Mike.
Trouble on Joey Logano. It looked like they were going to jack up the rear of the car. The left side is still up
It's like he can't get the left side up, so they use the jack under the rear to get it up high enough. The jack post broke or something, Chad? Or
Very possibly. Contact. We saw that happen last week with one of our race cars, and we couldn't get the jack underneath the car because the jack post broke.
Running second.
Well, Logano pulls away. As we are under caution, 3 cars getting together off turn 2. Easter Sunday night on Fox. What happens when these Cup cars meet 20,000 truckloads of dirt? Chaos under the lights. The NASCAR Bristol Dirt Race, Easter Sunday night, 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. After Martinsville and before Talladega. Coming green, William Byron up front with Daniel Suarez. They and Austin Dillon did not pit. They are the leaders.
Big tire lockup on the 8 about mid-pack. Getting into turn 1.
There was no free pass on that caution. Ty Dillon was in the free pass position, but of course he was involved in the caution.
We see 3 wide back there with the 22 on the outside. He had trouble on pit road. Logano trying to dig himself back out of this. You have to go where they don't. If you need to make some time up, they're double wide, Chad. Bold move to the outside.
And we knew this was going to happen. We saw it in the cards. You got 135 laps to go this time by. Everybody understands that you have got to be aggressive.
Bell charging on the inside for 3 wide and
thought better of it.
Well, Austin Dillon came down and closed up that opportunity.
Whoa, so close.
7, you still inside.
Denny Hamlin outside of that group.
It's a great shot of the diffuser underneath these cars. So much downforce is made while the air, utilizing the air underneath the car now.
4th, 5th place Hamlin going after Blaney for 4th.
They are on the same tire schedule right now. The 24 and the 19, or 24 and the 99 up there at the front are on the old tires. 99 getting passed by the 19.
And Truex back up to 2nd place.
And I think Truex wants to go right here. You need to take off and hide, because I believe there's the one car that can hold your lap times with you is that 12 car of Ryan Blaney, and he's right behind him. 1 car in between him with Suarez.
Keselowski way up the track in turn 4, hauled it back in. You're riding with him right behind Alex Bowman. Keselowski 13th. And he missed turn 3 and 4 that last time around. Took the long way.
It's Blaney underneath Suarez. It's like I was talking about. I really believe, you know, obviously from qualifying on the pole and everything else, that 12 car Ryan Blaney has the speed in his race car. Didn't quite do as good a job of strategy.
Now remember, Suarez has 10 more laps on his tires than the people he's racing with. Now Joey Logano had those issues on pit road. He restarted 18th and he's gained 2 spots. But Regan, what was the problem?
Well, Mike, as you saw the car sitting there, the jack actually locked up. They could not get the car down off of the jack. That was the issue. They've had to swap that out for another jack. Tough break for Joey, who had quietly worked his way up to 2nd and had a solid day going on.
Got a long way to go now from 16th. And heavy traffic ahead. Jamie, how about our new leader, William Byron?
Yes, William Byron leading his first laps ever at Richmond in his 8th start. And I talked to his crew chief, Rudy Fugle. He said this driver is so amazing. You know, this was kind of his weakness on short tracks, but he has gone out. He's racing late model races whenever he can. He's working on his craft as a race car driver on short tracks, learning how to take what the car can give you, not overdriving it. And that's kind of what we've seen in this race so far. And Chad, what have you seen out of this young driver and his progress?
I've seen an awful lot of success out of that 24 team since I got away from it. I can tell you that. They've done an amazing job, and really proud of Rudy. Ever since Rudy stepped in and I stepped away from crew chief on that car, they've run well. They've won races. They've run up front. They've led a bunch of laps, so really proud of that 24 team. Really cool to have Liberty University on the side of that car while we're up here in Virginia as well.
And I think this is exactly kind of plays into what I was trying to explain about myself and Truex. Truex caught him. He was way faster than him, caught right to the back bumper of that 24. And now you look down, not only is he not matching his times, he was a 10th off of a lap up of the 24. So you kind of get to that bubble, and if you don't capitalize on that opportunity, now you kind of find yourself stuck in a little bit of a bubble, if you will, until you start getting into lap traffic, and then you can work on an angle and try to pick him on a lapper.
It's exactly what we spoke about just a moment ago. 100%. What is there, 5, 6 green flag laps between tires on those cars? And we know the 19's been super fast all day long, and he's going to continue to wrap the bottom, wait for William to get to where his tires are falling apart a little bit. But man, that 22 is trying to cruise up through the field right now as he's trying to get back up towards the front, all the way back up to the 11 already.
He sure is. 11 just made the pass on 12 of Blaney.
So Hamlin to third. Let's look at our Xfinity fastest laps of the day. Now, this is the last lap. William Byron a 71, Truex a 72, Kevin Harvick, Christopher Bell right there, and Denny Hamlin among the fast 5.
Yeah, and you go back, you go back 3 or 4 laps before that, and Truex had about a tenth and a half to 2 tenths. He was faster than William Byron. Got to him, can't do anything with him. Looks like the nose is starting to push a little bit, getting tight behind him in the wake of that car. He's going to wait for lappers. Save them tires. There'll be another opportunity coming.
First time William Byron has led here. And is this part of the Kyle Larson culture at Hendrick Motorsports? In comes Kyle, who races, 100 races a year, you know, outside of the Cup Series. And now you have all the Hendrick drivers doing this, but that was not the norm. Hendrick drivers raced the Cup Series. They didn't even race on Saturday at the Cup tracks.
It was really funny. We really discouraged it there for a long period of time because, but it's a different time. When we had Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, and the Dale Earnhardt Jr., we were at the racetrack on track 3 days a week, and it was a different cadence. We would come in on Friday, you would have a practice session, then you would qualify. You'd have 2 practice sessions on Saturday, then you would go run a race. So that meant that, you know, we encouraged our guys to make sure they got some time away and rested Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, travel day, Thursday. And that was the deal. Now, post-pandemic, it's a different set of circumstances. Last year, nobody was ever on the racetrack except for the day that you really raced. So we need to encourage these guys to get on track now. And I think Kyle Larson has definitely been the guy that has pushed this out there, because we've seen it not only with our guys in Hendrick Motorsports, we've seen a lot of guys, they go and they race anything, quarter midgets, that little dirt track that everybody goes to, Millbridge. A lot of guys go up there and they race all through there. So it's definitely the trend.
I think you can see that in about any driver out there, including myself. When I was racing in the Xfinity Series, you know, in 08 and won the championship over there and racing the Cup, I was, just like you said, I was practicing double time on the weekends, racing that series, racing trucks when I could, racing whenever I could. That seat time was so much of my advantage. Look at Kyle Busch, and when he used to run Xfinity, trucks, everything else, that was looking back on it all when he was dominating everything. Kyle Larson goes and races all over the country, comes back, wins him a championship.
William Byron is leading, but Martin Truex is coming. $111 laps to go in Richmond. William Byron Chevrolet leading 3 Toyotas and a Ford. Let's take a look at today's Credit One Bank ones to watch.
I'll tell you who I'm watching is that 11 car, Denny Hamlin. We talked to him for the race. I didn't necessarily love what I heard confidence-wise. Didn't hear that, didn't feel that with Denny, but I'm telling you, behind the wheel, whole different scenario. Top 3 run. He won every stage last year. He's won here 3 times. I think Denny Hamlin's a guy.
Well, Clint, I'm watching 6-time Richmond winner Kyle Busch. Comes in here with a 23-race winless streak, and he has had a rough couple of weeks at Atlanta and Coda. He just keeps hanging out in that top 5. But remember, at least one more pit stop to go.
I think you have to pay attention to the leader of this race right now, which is the 24, but I'm going to go all the way back to earlier in the week when I was on Race Up, and I called it the 19 car. Won 3 of the last 5 races here. That's going to be the car you got to pay attention to. Clean on pit road, a great driver, runner on the bottom. I think he's the one you got to pay attention to today.
Well, Ryan Blaney in the 12 started this race on the pole. He's led the most laps today. This has been a terrible track for Blaney. He's in that seat. He's fired up. His car's good. My money's on the 12.
I am keeping an eye on Kevin Harvick, not because he's been top 10 in 9 of the last 11 races here. He's not here to finish in the top 10. Harvick is a 3-time Richmond winner, and so far this year, it's been young guys rule, old guys drool, but I think one of those older guys, Harvick or Truex, is going to prevail this afternoon. And that is today's Credit One Bank One Store.
Hey, I didn't know it was
either or.
One to watch. You took 2. Both of my counterparts up here took 2. Both my mates.
When you have to pick last, you take liberties.
I love it. I love it. Boy, we're going to take advantage of the opportunity to alter our choices whenever we can, just to make sure we hedge properly.
Hey, that's another big maybe.
Just like
there's a lot of maybes this weekend.
And that's what I love about what this car in this season has brought to the table, to the forefront for NASCAR. All those guarantees, you know, when you try to strategize this race in our Tuesday morning meetings, it's out the window because it truly is anybody's race to win. You put them out front with good strategy like we saw with James Small and Truex, or with William Byron in the 24, the 12 of Ryan Blaney that's never run good here. Different game. The game has changed, boy.
It has, and there's another little twist right here. We've got the 17 car on pit road running very good all day long. I personally think this may be a little bit early to try to start your pit cycle, but man, in the game of maybe that we've had here today, who knows what's going to shake out. He could be the guy to dip his toe in the water first and bring everybody down pit road.
He was a lead lap car, running 2 spots behind his teammate Brad Keselowski, who is 16th.
So essentially what you're telling me is he's hoping that we're going to see another caution, right? You're going to gain the track position here, probably hopefully see another one with that strategy, and that'll benefit him.
I think that's the option where he's going to go and try to double pit this deal for 3 stints, or he's hoping that he's going to drag everybody else down pit road and he's the first guy to pit and he gets a little bit of a leapfrog on him that way. What a great race this has turned out to be.
Yeah, Chad, I felt like if you're going to split this into thirds, that was maybe about 8 to 10 laps early. I felt like you needed to go to at least about lap 305. Now, if you're going to split it in half, you and I are talking during commercial break, you're going to go to about lap 330, somewhere in that neighborhood.
We're coming to that magic number of 100 laps to go, which seems to me like a good time for NASCAR on Fox. Crank it up.
With who, Jamie? Sorry, who?
About 8 more.
About 40, so whenever you want to tell them.
1:45 to go. We listened in on Christopher Bell, who restarted 5th and is currently running 7th, 7 seconds off the lead.
Coming to you at all? We got to make a decision on one stop or two pretty quick. Oh, it's not coming to me.
That thing's been loose. Usually it'll come to you on a long run. It is not coming to me. Make some adjustments. I need tightened up, Chad.
Sounds to me like he's going to go ahead and do a do-stop.
Jamie?
Well, Mike, I'm looking at the top 10, and I see all 4 JGR cars in the top 7. Now, Toyota hasn't won a race yet this year, so as a camp, they came here with 4 different setups, and so far it's been pretty good. I've been watching the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Tire fall-off has been a little too aggressive for their liking, but their strategy has been good. And remember, Denny Hamlin, for the first time in his career, no top 10s in the first 6 races. He needs a good finish here today.
Sure does. Eric Almirola has pitted, so has A.J. Allmendinger in the 16. And here comes this Harvick coming to pit road.
Yeah, we're starting to get some activity here on pit road.
I told him myself and crank it up. It's the hardest thing for me to do, not talk on this thing. And I heard it coming in 8. And I'm like, oh, I heard it. And here they come, folks.
Jamie.
We're riding on board with Chase Elliott right now as he gets the countdown. The 4 of Kevin Harvick is in, who's way too tight. Chase Elliott, though, he's just saying, I don't know what happened to this thing. His balance is completely gone. They were kind of getting their arms wrapped around it, so it swung to the opposite side now in the 9.
Christopher Bell is in, so is Austin Dillon. Rookie Harrison Burton's had a good race today. He's in as well. Regan.
Mike, you heard the radio on Christopher Bell. That car was not coming in for him. No forward drive off the corners, but too tight in the middle. It would not turn the middle for him.
And Denny Hamlin comes to pit road. Justin Haley also. Jamie.
And Denny Hamlin comes into his pit box, a 3-time winner here, but hasn't won here since 2016. They have that extra set of tires. They use those up as they work on the left side. No adjustments there for the 11.
Brad Keselowski on pit road, and here comes William Byron. Keselowski stop complete. Same for Tyler Reddick. Jamie.
And William Byron led 51 laps in this race already. Like the clean air for this number 24 as they work the left side. No adjustments. Pretty happy with it the way it's rolling here in this final stage.
Penalty for Corey LaJoie. Too fast entering pit road. Ty Dillon is in.
And this is really interesting right now. I think we're watching this strategy evolve. The 24, all of these guys have pitted. The 19 still on the racetrack right now. He is committed, I have to say, from this point to do this in 1 stop as opposed to 2 stops for the rest of the race.
What's interesting, isn't that exactly opposite of what got him the lead in the second stage win?
But I think it was because of those 2 quick cautions when they came in there and got those tires, and that shortened that stage right there. He's going to have to go about another 15 to 20 laps.
Landon Castle, Bubba Wallace, B.J. McLeod on pit road. So
well, I like it, though. His poker face is good.
Yeah, you'll see that. The 19, if all holds true the way it is right now, about 15 more laps, I think, before they hit pit road.
So the top 10 were all on pit road at lap 259, except 5th place Daniel Suarez, who was there 10 laps earlier. 86 laps to go in Richmond in the Toyota Owners 400 as we take you Fox side by side.
Whenever you crack open a Busch Light, the mountain starts singing.
It's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you.
What is going on?
Mountains of Busch beer. Hit it, Giant Kenny G.
It's so smooth.
Head for the mountains of Busch Light beer.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you
need.
Liberty Bibbity.
Hi.
Liberty. Are we married to Mutual? Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The lady in black doesn't age. She just gets tougher.
And Throwback Weekend is when she likes to remind all the friends, families, drivers, and dreamers just how they got here. Loud cars and louder colors. Business up front and parties in the back. Over 70 years of history held together with one famous black stripe. Too tough to tame? I guess you'll have to find out.
When you step into a new day, determined, committed, willing to take on whatever's asked of you, that new day is yours to own, yours to shape, and yours to be proud of. Ram, J.D. Power's #1 brand in your vehicle quality.
Last week's reveal was a bombshell.
Christy Brinkley!
And Fox Wednesday.
That's rock and roll right there.
The wildest season of The Masked Singer continues.
What a dream!
With more slinging.
Pew, pew, pew.
And more singing.
She just crushed it.
And 4 performances that will knock you off your feet.
I am holding back the tears because it took 5 hours to put this makeup on.
The Masked Singer, all new Wednesday on Fox.
For March Madness, the Dave single is just a buck in the Wendy's app. Reg.
Lunchtime, baby.
Lunchtime indeed, Rich.
Get a hot and juicy Dave single for just a buck in the app. Choose wise. Choose Wendy's.
In NASCAR, the journey begins with one simple start. Turn, bump, win, and celebration. I am the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. I am NASCAR.
We're back, and Ryan Blaney locks up the brakes in turn 3 and dives to pit road. Looked like that was kind of unplanned and pretty sudden, was it?
Yeah, that didn't seem quite... How's this? And anything that I've got in front of me, and Larry Mack's been coaching me through this race, I don't see where this is going to be a huge benefit, but it's going to be interesting here. Jamie, what have you got down there on the 12?
Well, as they count Blaney down into his pit box, you know, with pit road, you guys have talked about it. They've had their issues this year, and it's been different things. Fueling has been one of the main issues. They've been working on that, a fuel pickup issue. They're working the left side, but the team has done a pretty nice job here today so far in that #1 pit box. Regan?
Well, Kyle Larson, just a steady day for him right now. They've been battling loose in with that race car the majority of the day right now. 4 tires is the call for them.
And here comes Truex to pit road.
So did they force his hand? When they pitted early, he wanted to go. You said 15 more laps. That's like lap 330. I feel like that's 7 to 8, 9, 10 laps early. Forced his hand, and he had to pit.
Yeah, he would have been left behind if he hadn't done that. So that's really an interesting play right there.
Larson, Briscoe, Chastain, and Kyle Busch are all in, Larry.
Yeah, I think what Chad said earlier, when they laid the gauntlet, Jonathan Hassler, they were the first one. They wanted to jump on it first, and then I think that forced everybody else's hand, including the 19 car and James Small with Truex.
So now only Alex Bowman among the lead lap cars, 3rd place, and still overcoming that pit road penalty early in the day. He's the only one who's not been to pit road among the lead lap cars.
In all of our meetings in preparation for this race, Chad, I listened to you, and the one thing that you told me is to be the first one. When we're going to pit, be the first one to do it, because you're going to reap the benefits not only on that stop, you're going to have the first one on tires to be able to get through the traffic better. Huh? I'm listening to you, buddy, and I like that strategy of the 12 car and Ryan Blaney being the first one to lay that gauntlet down, like Larry said.
Here's Alex Bowman to pit road, the last lead lap car to pit. Bubba Wallace had to make a second stop because the right rear was loose on his first stop. He got around, got back to pit road without incident, and changed it.
He already has somebody on a 4-week vacation. He don't need another one. Well, I bet you they came in and said, hey, nip that in the bud right now.
And he's one of the, we'll call him fortunate. He's actually felt what a loose wheel feels like on one of these race cars, so he has some experience with that. So he probably felt what he had last week, which he was thinking was a flat spotted tire, and that's why he stayed on a racetrack.
William Byron out front by 1.6 seconds.
We're running this out. Keep being perfect by both ends. Being perfect, not slipping them. Inch it away.
Last lap by, Byron was a 10th quicker than Denny Hamlin. and half a tenth quicker than third place Kevin Harvick.
And all of which are on the same pit schedule at this point in time.
So the car with the freshest tires is Martin Truex in 6th place. You see he pitted just 5 laps ago. Blaney just 7 laps ago. Let's see if they can make any inroads into that front 5.
Well, he's running right now. Martin Truex is running around at about a 23:40 second lap. And you go up and you look at William Byron. He's running the 24 flats to 23:90s. So he's gaining an awful lot of time on them. So that's where this whole flip-flop of when you pit once versus when you pit twice is going to come into play.
.69 laps to go as Ricky Stenhouse makes a pit stop. Stenhouse 2 laps down in 24th.
Still can't get used to the fire coming out of the left sides of these race cars when they lift. Having them pipes come out both sides. Definitely shorter pipes too. A lot more flame.
Watch the 14 here.
Oh. That's quite a bit of contact.
That was
looked like the 99 of Suarez, and the 14 first got into it. He tried to give him some room, drove right into the door of the 15.
J.J. Yaley there was collateral damage.
Slicing and dicing, baby. It's go time. Pay window is officially open.
Now, because of this long green run, Ross Chastain is the first car 1 lap down in 15th. Battling there with 2nd place Hamlin and with Chase Briscoe, who is now the first car 1 lap down. Michael McDowell has been off the leader's pit stop cycle all day, and he makes a stop. 10th place, Blaney and Kyle Busch, who I think both thought they might be fighting for the lead today. Blaney has been out front for 128 laps early.
Yeah, he thought stage 1, boy, this is smooth sailing. This is going to be a nice race for us today. Ever since he started to get back in traffic a little bit, he has been in a dogfight, what seems to be just about every lap. Now, that could have been with Ross Chastain or Kyle Busch. Who knows? But he has been fighting tooth and nail ever since he got back in traffic.
Yeah, something's falling back on here, because now here he is, fell back clear to the reach of the 5, making the pass to the outside of him and Kyle Larson.
9th place, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott. All right, back to the issue of shifting. Regan.
Well, Mike, we talked about shifting earlier in the day, and we knew that it was going to evolve as the day went on. Tyler Reddick from his crew chief, take a listen to what they just told him about what guys are doing.
They're down shifting in the middle of 1 and 2 and running fourth all the way from the center 1 and 2 back to the start-finish line. And then they shift to 5th at the start-finish line? Yeah, so they're just in 5th here from the start-finish line to the center of 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's how I heard that earlier. You heard him shift in the 9 car when we were following along with him, riding along, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, he never shifted back in to 5th. So pretty much riding 4th gear for the better part of a lap.
Chase Elliott grabbing a gear there.
Downshift. See, didn't shift down the back straightaway. Still in 4th gear. Going to roll through 3 and 4.
3 wide. Kyle Larson threads the needle between Reddick and Buescher. Pardon me, coming through.
He's rolling.
That battle was for 8th place, all 3 of them. .60 laps ago. We're going to take you side by side once more. William Byron leading Denny Hamlin by 4.6 seconds.
For Toyota, racing isn't all about the numbers. Like 162 Cup wins.
Or 3 Cup Series championships.
How about those 3 Daytona 500s?
It's about the thousands of bumps and bruises.
It's the millions of fans and the endless rain of confetti.
I love you guys!
It's the countless I love yous. Our success is in a generation of memories. Here's to the next.
Oh, there's my little nephew. He looks more like Dad every time I see him. Dad is old. Right. So your message said you wanted to talk about insurance? I said I want you to talk about insurance. Well, most people know that bundling home and auto saves you money. Keep saying your words. But did you know that new customers who bundle and save with Progressive can save an average of $800? Sleeping baby. I love you too.
These are the people who work on the front lines. They need a network that's built right. That's why we created Verizon Frontline, the advanced network and technology for first responders. Built for reliability, built for real interoperability, and built for 5G. It's America's #1 network in public safety. Verizon Frontline, built right for first responders.
On April 16th, the USFL is making Birmingham the pro football capital of America. It's going to be history in its making. This is going to be the biggest kickoff party ever.
We would definitely have a good time.
Nothing beats live football. $10 a ticket, kids get in free. That's fantastic. It's all going to be right here. I love it. The new stadium is awesome. It's exciting. You're ready to have a good time? Come on out. This is a once in a lifetime. You've got to be there. The USFL. Buy tickets today at theusfl.com.
Ooh. Call Logano. Hey, Joey, you can save money if you fill up at Shell if you use Advanced Auto Parts Speed Perks.
Dude, I'm way ahead of you.
You saved at the pump?
Yeah, I saved at the pump.
The pump?
The pump.
You saved at the pump!
Woo! Now you can save at the pump when you shop at Advanced Auto Parts. Learn more at advancedautoparts.com/gas rewards.
Now, it's my turn.
Catch all that? Well, get ready for this. I am Full Throttle. I am NASCAR.
Back to Richmond, where our aerial coverage is provided by Goodyear. For those that push the limits of possibility, Goodyear, more driven. 53 laps to go. William Byron, 4.2 seconds up on Denny Hamlin. Kevin Harvick, 5 seconds back. And there's a little piece of something
come down pit lane.
on the grill there.
We're not supposed to. So we're going to have to come down pit lane.
And NASCAR has posted the 18 for that small piece of green and red tape. Looks like it might have been attached to a windshield tear-off. Might not even have been there. Somehow,
I would say it goes back. They have cameras on pit road that'll show whether or not that was put on or not. I mean, that piece right there definitely is debris.
I think we just heard the crew chief say we put a piece of tape on the grill and we weren't supposed to.
Larry?
All right, it is illegal to put tape on the grill opening. I've talked to NASCAR. Yes, he's being black flagged. They feel like they meant to put it over the brake duct. Remember, we've been hearing all this talk about brake shake? They meant to put it over the brake duct and got it over the grill opening. Can't do that.
No,
so you
can't.
Right, so like Larry's saying, you can put some tape on the brakes, but you can't put it on the grill.
What a costly error. Now to be 2 weeks in a row. He had a great run going last week in a top 5 and spun out on the last lap. He is not going to be happy about this.
That's a costly error.
And it's only about 4 inches over from where that brake duct opening would be. They just missed it by that much.
I'm going to stick up with the guy a little bit here. When you watch those guys and how fast they reach up there and try to put tape on before he drops the clutch on that thing and takes off, I mean, it's like boom, boom, so fast.
Could this be a product of that new choreography?
Jamie?
And you see it right there. They just pulled the tape right off the grill of the 18. A lot of confusion. You can see the looks of the pit crew guys like, what happened? What did we do wrong? But they pulled it off. He's gone.
Austin Dillon is pitting, and so is Eric Almirola. And more. Kevin Harvick is back in.
So now
and here comes Christopher Bell.
And this is something that happens. Okay, so the 18 comes down pit road, and everybody's like, oh, maybe we're supposed to be pitting right now. And everybody comes down pit road with them. That very easily could be what's happening right now.
Regan.
This has been the plan all along for the 20-car Christopher Bell. They were going to pit on this lap exactly, counted it down from 10 laps ago until now. He's silent on the radio in that car. Jamie?
On board with Kevin Harvick right there. Plowing tight is what he said. He's been pretty much tight all race long, but they made their final stop of the day as Denny Hamlin in for his service as well.
Harrison Burton is in. Justin Haley in and out. Landon Castle all under green. We've had more green flag pit stops today than I think we've had in the whole season to date.
The biggest thing about these pit stops, yes, they're green flag pit stops that we haven't seen. But, man, one thing that we haven't seen today that we've been seeing all year is mistakes within these pit stops. Whoa, that's as close as it gets. Whoa. There was a lot of things happening. Don't speed on pit road, but you have to have all four underneath that orange box. Again, a violation, a pit entry violation. We see that almost every time we come here. Somebody has their left sides on that box. Gets nabbed for it.
Now, as this part of the pit stop cycle concludes, Chad, let's explain why NASCAR no longer allows tape on the grill with this new car.
So the way that the cars are aero matched, I don't want to say matched, that's not the proper word, but aero categorized by NASCAR is with a certain velocity ratio of air going through the grill. Okay, so that's how much air is going through that grill. And that keeps the downforce levels very consistent throughout the manufacturers. So they don't want the teams to be able to do that. Now, all that being said, if you're in a situation to where you want to increase your water temperature, what you can do is there's a plate on the back side of the radiator that you can restrict the airflow from that side of the radiator, but you can only do that before the race begins or before the weekend begins, not during the event.
Yeah, you're lying in the bed you made if you do that.
Yeah.
And we saw that at California with these Gibbs cars. They had that plate blocked off somewhat, had overheating issues. The rest was history. All of them struggled with it.
Martin Truex is coming. But Larry, that inability to use tape, didn't that take away a pretty important tool in your toolbox?
Well, it did, Mike. But again, to Chad's point, it's just the way the car is structured. And, you know, the air does not go under the hood anymore. It goes through the radiator, out those louvers in the hood, and then there's some that's fed actually to the air cleaner where the throttle body's at.
Martin Truex is marching forward. He's about 0.2 of a second per lap faster than William Byron right now. Jamie?
Well, Kyle Busch now, he's the lap down in 14th. Ben Bayshore, his crew chief, came on the radio and told Kyle, we added that tape 200 laps ago, and they just called it. So you can imagine the driver not so happy.
Wow.
Interesting thing building up here. Is the 24 going to go for it?
They were last on pit road.
What are you asking me for, Chad? I'm the driver. I'm the 24 out there trying to just hold on. You're supposed to tell me, do I need to save these things? Are we going to the end? Are we going to pit? Strategist, I need help. What do you want me to do inside this race car? How can I help you?
Chad, you would think if they were going to stop, they would have already made that stop.
Yeah, I don't disagree, Larry Mack. It looks to me like it's folding up to where they're going to go ahead and try and keep this thing going. Well, I think they might be a bit of a sitting duck, though, unfortunately, but we're going to have to see a 4.5-second lead.
Yes, because Martin Truex's last lap is 0.4 faster than William Byron, and he is on a march.
When it goes back into the job that he does, trying to manage these runs. You're out there on old tires. Everybody else has fresh tires. So literally every lap you're getting passed by 2 or 3 times and losing even more time than you would if you could just run a clean lap.
Thought so.
Look at that.
This.
Yeah. So we've only had 5 green flag pit stops in the first 6 races, which we've gone to a lot of racetracks combined that you would have inherently thought you would see that. Chicago or Fontana, California, Las Vegas, tracks like that, which would breed that. And then today we've had 4 on one of our most difficult short tracks that we go to.
Truex is now within 4 seconds of the lead.
Williams got loose getting into the corner on the outside of the 11, but again, that goes into what I was saying. It's one thing to do the math and see if it works, if he can just run solid, clean laps as if nobody else is out there. But when you have the 11 of Denny Hamlin get underneath of you, get loose in, there's another half second off that you were not counting on.
Regan?
Mike Martin Truex Jr. continuing to reel in the 24. William Byron just came on the radio, though, and said, my tires are shot already, so not happy with the tires on that car right now.
Well, he's got 13 less laps on him than William Byron has on his. But again, this lap, Truex 4/10 faster than Byron.
Yeah, and
that'll
again,
take a toll.
Just like Clint was saying, Martin does such a good job of just taking care of his tires, running right down the bottom of the racetrack. He does a really good job. Let's listen to what the 19's got to say now.
We're in good shape. Still P2. I don't know why the 24 is not pitted. If he isn't, just keep up with this pace. You're going to see him and you'll stay ahead of the others.
Well, none of us understand why the 24 didn't pit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Rudy's great. Like, he's got this figured out. He's feeling that once they get into the traffic right now, that he's going to be able to hold position on these guys. Which, again, Martin just got held up right there by the one car. So he lost some momentum. Now he's got the 18 on back of him. So the 18's trying to get back up there to get his lap back, right?
You hear him
all these things going on.
You hear him getting nervous about the grip level in his car as well.
Jamie Mack.
Yeah, guys, we talked about it earlier, and Martin was able to catch William Byron earlier in the race, but passing was a whole different story. And I've seen William Byron's been in a little bit of traffic, has held him up, and it's almost like, you know, a gain and loss each lap. Martin's quicker, but catching and passing is going to be two different stories.
Well, there's more to this story. Right now, Kyle Larson is the fastest car on the racetrack.
100%.
With Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick, all faster than Byron or Truex.
Absolutely. You took the words right out of my mouth. I reached over and hit Chad and pointed that 5 car on the board very, very fast, hanging 1.5 to 2 tenths on those front 2 guys of William Byron and Martin Truex.
And that's exactly what Rudy Fugle and William Byron want right now, is they want the 5 to get to the tail of that 19. Put pressure on him, slow him down a little bit so they can maintain that lead that they've got. Right now at 3 seconds with only 28 laps to go. That's going to be really tough.
Well, remember point of view. Rudy Fugle has a win in the bank. He can afford to gamble with William Byron. They already have a victory this year.
100%.
The ones chasing them, not so much. We listened in on the leaders.
We can keep this pace. We're going to win the race. I believe it. We can keep this pace.
Well, cheerleading, and he's right. But again, it's so important, putting a lot of weight on that driver, William Byron. Try to save and manage these passes. If somebody comes up on you, figure out where he can pass you, and you can get right back into taking care of business, managing this run, optimizing these lap times.
The way Byron got the lead was staying out on 11-lap older tires back at lap 259 during the caution. Here's a quick progressive race summary with 25 laps to go. Byron, one of 6 leaders, 12 lead changes. Ryan Blaney's led the most laps. 10 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Busch now the first car 1 lap down. 5 caution flags. So was Rudy Fugle doing a sales job on William Byron?
I don't think he's really selling it. I think he's telling the facts, and it's real, because right now they are both falling back. The both being the 19 and the 24. They got cars on the outside. The 18 just passed the 24 to get his lap back. The 19 was just in a storm between the 3 and the 31. So those guys right now are both in a big deficit compared to some of these guys that pitted just a little bit ago. They're trying to stay out of harm's way. Clint's just seen it right here, Clint. I mean, the 24 just ran a 24.86 second lap. Martin Truex ran a 24.80 second lap. They've all but flatlined right now with a 3-second gap.
Absolutely. He ain't wrong. It's going to come down to either one of those guys and how they manage these lap cars and get through the traffic.
But the lap cars are the different. You're not passing the lap cars.
They're passing
you. And that's where it's out of your control right now.
Well, it is, but it isn't. In my opinion, you have to be smart as a race car driver and time that. And not only yourself, have that spotter up there on the roof. You help me optimize these lap times and these guys passing me. Make sure they pass me and catch me where I'm not going to be hung door to door coming off of a corner, because that's going to kill your lap. Now I'm starting to get excited. And you can see this from our vantage point. I mean, where are they? You see William Byron almost pretty much at the start-finish line, whereas Truex is coming off of turn 4. There it is.
Truex dealing with Tyler Reddick there off of 4. Last time by, Kyle Larson quicker than the 2 leaders, and Denny Hamlin 6/10ths faster than the leaders. So 4th and 5th place, and perhaps even Blaney may be right up here with this lead trio when this ends.
Yeah, Larson and Hamlin are the fastest cars on the racetrack, no doubt. I just don't think there's too much real estate in between those cars.
How about Kyle Larson, Jamie Mack?
Yeah, guys, just been watching his shifting, his throttle traces. He's actually, we heard Randall Burdett say it earlier to Tyler Reddick, Kyle's staying in 4th gear every once in a while, going to 5th gear, and it could be because he's in a little bit of traffic, but he's actually run 4th gear all the way around the track. The other car that we've talked a little bit about, and he's on a different pit strategy, is the 11. You know, we've focused on Larson, Byron, and Truex, but Denny Hamlin on those newer tires is coming fairly quick.
18 laps to go. No one on the racetrack has tires older than our race leader, William Byron.
Watch Kyle, we talked about it, in 4th gear, jumps on the throttle, and that thing just slides sideways. And now, that doesn't only impact that lap, he's taking another lap of lifespan off those tires.
Or 4 or 5 after that. But I think that is exactly what that was. That's a product of being in that 4th gear, and that thing, when he got to the gas, wants to blow the tires off of it. Pretty solid day for Kyle Larson. Needed one.
Yeah, they've had a lot of problems here the last few weeks.
Well, it's down to 1.6 seconds. William Byron to Martin Truex. 17 laps to go. A 10th a lap would get him there. So, Larry, what are the trends?
Well, what I'm looking at, the trends of 2022, and if you look at the first 6 races, the average of the final caution was 7 laps to go, and that's about 9 laps from right now.
I'm telling you, though, I don't even know if we need a caution. William Byron's starting to slip and slide around. I watched him miss the bottom down there. This lap right here, I think you're going to really see him be swallowed up by Martin Truex.
But the thing that's really going to benefit them is you got Chase Elliott trying to get his lap back. So he's ripping around trying to get past the 19. Then you got the 17 right behind him, who's going to hold up the 19.
Watch this. This was a big... Yeah, again, a couple tenths.
At this pace, Truex would catch Byron with about 7 laps to go.
Oh.
Then what?
Well, that's just it. You know, you heard Jimmy McMurray talk about it. Catching him's one thing. Making the pass on him's another. But I feel like it's a little bit different conversation now that these tires are extremely wore out. You've got a lot of lappers, a lot of other traffic out there on the racetrack. You're navigating around cars that are passing you. You're passing some. A little better opportunity this time around.
Well, yesterday's Xfinity race came down to the final laps, and 2 teammates duked it out with a lot of contact for the win.
How about last weekend in Coda?
Right.
I'm going to move you out of the way. Not so fast. I'm going to pay you back.
This year we've seen it. Like, guys are not afraid to put the bumper on somebody else to move them because they know that the recovery rate is high. So they're like, look, if I get into you a little bit, I know you're going to still finish the race, man. I'm moving on. I'm checking out.
Denny Hamlin fastest lap last time by, almost a second quicker than William Byron. 11 to go. Truex 1 second back. Larson 3 back. Hamlin 3.3.
Yeah.
They're all going to be in a cluster.
It's amazing how it all shakes out this way, right? Here we are with 10 laps to go this time by. You've got the leader in second place running within 3/4 of a second one another, with third and fourth catching them at a very rapid pace.
Yeah, I don't think we're looking at just a two-horse race here at narrowing down to the end of this thing. I think there's going to be 4 of them going for it. That 11 car is extremely fast. The 4 as well.
Jamie McMurray.
Yeah, guys, just watching the 11, I mean, Clint, think about this. When you get to be on the aggressor in this, having those little bit newer tires makes it so much easier. Being Truex or William Byron, who have been out there on old tires, it's so hard to defend at a track like this when you just don't have any grip.
And exactly what Denny Hamlin, the 4 of Kevin Harvick, what they need is this 19 to catch a 24. Get to race and be door to door. Give us a, because when they do that, that's going to clip another 2-3 tenths off of them racing. Going to help you out even more. I think you're going to see about the time Truex catches William Byron, it's going to be exactly the time the 11 and the 4 catch Truex.
Lots of traffic, 7 cars right ahead. They're going to catch them in the next 2 to 3 laps.
He's there. And when I say he, I think the 11 of Hamlin way faster. Starting to see some frustration.
Hard to get those lap cars out of the way.
11's going to get a move on the outside of the 19 here.
100%. I think he's going to cross him over right here at Diamond. No, he's going to roll to his outside. There he goes.
William Byron loves seeing that in his mirror. Second and third side by side. Harrison Burton just ahead. Nowhere to go. Hamlin forges ahead.
I don't think he's clear yet.
Not yet.
Man, he wants that 21 out of his way, blocking him. Now Kevin Harvick looking to the outside. Denny Hamlin is there.
5 to go.
Who would have thought 20 laps ago that the 11 would potentially be passing for the lead with 5 laps to go in this race?
Potentially. Here it is. And I don't think William Byron is going to have anything for him.
Stay there. Hold your side.
Byron trying to fight him off. Hamlin to the stripe first. Harvick trying to close and take away second.
All clear.
Lap cars, 4 of them under a blanket dead ahead.
And this Kevin Harvick, he's going to be hungry for it too. Don't you think he ain't willing to do what it takes? Been a long time since he's been in victory lane.
He's been hearing an awful lot about these young guns, these new guys coming in and taking all the glory.
Well, but he's going to have to knock an old guy out of the way with Denny Hamlin, and I'm telling you, those 2 guys, they are hungry for a win. Need to turn their seasons around.
They're side by side in front of the leader midway down the back straightaway. 3 cars are going to have trouble negotiating with 2 laps to go. There's that little pack, that battle going on. And Hamlin's going to get to it first. This may be Harvick's opportunity.
And one of those cars is Harvick's teammate, the 10 of Eric Almirola. These guys are side by side.
And they're not giving way.
Oh, Harvick's going to roll up top.
Rolling up top. The white flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Where will Hamlin go?
Kevin's got to run.
Kevin's looking to the bottom.
Almirola moved up. Hamlin made a clean pass.
That's it.
Within 2 car lengths. Not enough. Turn 3, final time. Wow.
Now that's a difference.
Towner, Denny Hamlin.
We heard.
Checkered flag for Hamlin.
Well, he don't have to hear from us anymore, huh? Wow. Fix their problem, fix their season, the rest is history. A win changes everything in this sport. And man, them coming back out of nowhere, running these guys down. Awesome day.
Great strategy, great play right there. For a guy that said he had a 15th place car this morning when we spoke to him on the red carpet, I think he just showed a different face of that car.
Was it Hamlin who told you you can't win the Kentucky Derby on a 3-legged mule?
That's right.
And here he is.
Well, Somehow he turned a mule into a thoroughbred.
41-year-old Denny Hamlin beats Kevin Harvick to the checkered flag. Old guys rule in Richmond.
What a great race. We saw it. We knew it. We knew there was going to be strategy calls. We knew there was going to be opportunity for guys to do things. They took opportunity there.
First man with your second little one. That's awesome.
Hadn't forgotten how to do a burnout, has he?
Nope. He only led the last 5 laps of this race. You heard him talking to spotter Chris Lambert. 47th career victory, and to win at home. What could be sweeter? Not to mention, it is the Toyota Owners 400.
Hey, all of our strategy work, all of our plans, what were we looking for going into this race weekend? Were these Gibbs cars going to be able to turn it around, show up, and do business at their best racetrack? They just answered that.
Picked a pretty good way to score his first top 10 finish of the season. And then slid it and parked it right on the start-finish line.
He's going to be pumped. It's a big win for him.
And for Coach Joe Gibbs, Toyota's first win of the season.
Perfect timing rolling into Martinsville for next weekend's race. Denny doesn't run too bad there either.
Not too shabby at all.
Jamie Little.
That is about the most pumped up I have ever seen Denny Hamlin. First off, Denny, where did you come from?
Yeah, it was just a great strategy there, and just drove as hard as I could, and just so proud of this whole FedEx Camry team. Man, just never giving up. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, maybe just a little, but you know, they got this car right there towards the end, and wow, it's just unbelievable.
Denny, it hasn't been an easy start to the season. Not even a top 10 through the first 6 races. What does this win mean to you, to Toyota, just to kick things off here at your home track of all places?
Yeah, I talked to you before the race. You know, we needed a data point. We needed something, a good run to kind of balance ourselves on other tracks, and obviously I think we got it here.
All right, so much for that talk of the young guys. Look who's in victory lane. It's Denny Hamlin.
Another one of our veterans today with a very strong run. Kevin Harvick, the end of the race, you were chasing him down. You were right there. Just fell a little bit short.
Yeah, just really proud of everyone on our Mobile One Ford Mustang for just staying in there and having a great strategy and doing everything that they did all day. It's really the first clean day that we've had all year. Cars have been fast and had a shot there at the end. I wanted to be close enough with the white to just take a swipe at him, but yeah, the lap cars there kind of got in the way, and I lost a little bit of ground. But still a great day for us, and just hopefully a little momentum in a positive direction.
Nice job, Kevin. Thanks.
Denny Hamlin heads for victory lane. A winner again in Richmond, and turns Toyota's season around and parks it right on the start-finish line. Congratulations to Coca-Cola Racing family driver Denny Hamlin for a breakthrough win for Toyota here in Richmond. Harvick second, Byron third, Martin Truex finishes fourth. He's with Regan Smith.
Martin Truex Jr. strong all day long in the 19th car, battling at the end. You had the leader in your sights, and then the guys with tires came behind you. How frustrating is that to have so many strategies?
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. That's part of it here. You know, it was part of the whole day, and obviously we did good there for a while. Let's try not to get run over here by the 11, so we might want to come this way a little bit. Yeah, I mean, James did a great job all day with strategy, getting us up front, getting us the lead. Our auto owners, Camry TRD was just super fast out front, super fast in clean air. You know, at the end there, I think we just tried to gamble, and tried to gamble on beating the 24, and then he ended up doing our strategy, which we both screwed up. So, you know, obviously heads up the other way. I think we had the best car, but it doesn't matter. So I'm just overall just really proud of our guys, and you know, obviously a big step in the right direction from Phoenix, and completely different mindset coming here. And after today, what we can do going forward. So excited about that. Just thanks to everybody at TRD Toyota and everybody back at JGR for working their butts off.
Very strong day for Martin Truex Jr.
Well, he did his job. He caught William Byron and passed him, and then came two drivers with fresher tires.
What an ending to this race, and it was a strategy race. These races are always won in a different way, not the same way that we saw last week in Texas at COTA where they were beating and banging. This race, in my opinion, was won on top of that box, Chad.
I agree 100%, and that's why I wanted to get up here this weekend and watch this race from this perspective. This race is always so exciting to me because you have so many opportunities. The guy that won the race had 40-plus laps less on his tires than the 24 did, and the 24 led to the last few laps. I mean, you just don't see that coming unless you're really paying attention to the race, and that's what makes these races so great and so much fun.
And it took until this win for Hamlin to pop up into the top 20 in the standings.
Tells you how bad he needed that win.
So he will go to Ruoff Mortgage Victory Lane and become the 7th different winner of this season and break the string of winners under 30 at 12. Hamlin scores one for the NASCAR Senior Citizen set. Well, we'll get ready for Saturday night in Martinsville next week, and you'll hear from the studio in Charlotte right after this.
The USFL makes history as the Birmingham Stallions face the New Jersey Generals Saturday, April 16th on Fox and NBC.
Okay, crank them up. The Food City Dirt Race is back at Bristol in 2022, and this time it's a night race. You remember the last night races at Bristol in September, right?
Between Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott.
It's the Food City Dirt Race, 7 p.m. on Easter Sunday, April 17th. Save big by grabbing a weekend package today at BristolMotorspeedway.com. Remember, this isn't just any dirt race. It's a dirt race at Bristol, baby.
It's Bristol, baby.
It's all over in Richmond. First short track race of the year, 7th of the season, and we now have 7 different winners because Virginia's own Denny Hamlin did it today, and he's not the only winner. 7 people went 6 for 6 playing Fox Bet Super 6 and split $10,000 of Clint's money. Winners are pending verification of eligibility. So here are the numbers for driver 11. All 4 Gibbs cars in the top 10, led by that FedEx Toyota. Denny now has 47 career wins. It's the 4th time he's won at his home racetrack. Welcome in, everybody, to our Charlotte studios with America's crew chief Larry McReynolds and Jamie McMurray. I'm Adam Alexander. The run for the young guys is over. It wasn't a 20-something. It wasn't a 30-something. A 40-something does it today.
Yeah, but it wasn't from a lack of effort. William Byron led 122 laps. It looked like he was going to be in position to win. We saw Christopher Bell, another young guy, run well. But when it came down to the end, Denny Hamlin, Chris Gabehart, they had the right strategy. Denny put the best run of the whole day together at the right time at the end. Only led 5 laps, but it was the right 5.
He pits with 46 to go. He's a lap down with 36 to go. And with 5 to go, he's leading the race. Unbelievable rally.
Well, it is, but it's called having 40-lap fresher tires than the guy that's up there leading the race, and you even had 30-lap fresher tires than Martin Truex Jr., who at one time it looked like was going to be in the race. When I look at the top 5, it's what I love about my job. You had 3 completely different strategies that finished inside the top 5.
Joe Gibbs Racing now has 18 wins at Richmond. We said today was the day they proved they are back.
Yeah, all 4 finished inside the top 9, and not only did Denny Hamlin break his 12-race winless streak, that broke Joe Gibbs Racing's 12-race winless streak. So a big day across the board.
William Byron, heartbroken, leads all those laps and just can do nothing to fend him off late.
Well, he's on the oldest tires, and it's hard to defend at Richmond. I talked about that during the broadcast. When you're on old tires, it's like you're on ice. Being the aggressor, being Denny Hamlin on fresher tires, much better position to be in. But I thought William Byron the whole race long did an incredible job being able to hold off guys on older tires.
Denny Hamlin wins. We're going to a track where he's pretty good. next weekend in Martinsville. Next on Fox, it's The Simpsons. Next Saturday, coverage from Martinsville, 7 Eastern on FS1, following the Yankees and Red Sox. And don't forget, tomorrow night on FS1 at 6, it's NASCAR Race Hub. Good night.
Catch all that?
I'm ready to rip somebody's freaking head off.
Or that? Well, get ready for this, and a whole lot of this. I am Full Throttle. I am NASCAR.